I could only dream of playing this game.
Coaching this game.
Umpiring this game.
I had no idea my little girl was going to be a professional athlete.
What opportunities were out there.
Trading the lounge room for the locker room.
The earbuds for a whistle.
I never dreamt that there was a future for me in footy.
But here I am.
How good?
How good is this?
Footy is more than just a game. It's a place of connection, it's a place of community, it's a place of exciting possibilities. We all have a place in footy. Join us. Check out AFL Tas's website now.
Hi, I'm Ray Chamberlain, and here are the top reasons why you should become an AFL umpire. You love intellectual conversations.
I know you're not. No, I said.
And you said no. Everybody knows you need help with your anger management issues.
We don't talk to one another like that. It's okay.
You just can't keep up with the young ones any longer.
It's run down.
Because you like to get paid to keep fit.
Blow your whistle, show your decision, show your good strong signals, then get on your bike and go.
It's the best game in the world.
To sing and dance in rejoice, having gathered resources by nature. Pina Tanabri, Ningibi, Lungabi, Panina, Takara, Miladina, Ni, Warta Malaka, Kanaplila, Laini, Kanamaluka. I acknowledge my own people and the Panina who once walked this land at the head of the Kanamaluka those thousands of years ago. Mina Tanapri, Palawa, Manamapali. I acknowledge the Tasmanian Aboriginal community of today. These two teams are going into battle, both representing their states and all those who support them. In this game, each player bears the gift of tradition that's set by past champions who wore these very jumpers with pride and distinction. Putia Lumi. They are no longer with us, Takila Warrawul Warranta, but their heart and soul is. It's in the very fabric of the jumper you wear. May you play well and in the spirit of the game. Nori Nina 2, thank you.
Thank you, Graham. Now, if you're able, please be upstanding and remove your hats for the Australian National Anthem to be performed by Kat Dawson.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is goodbye sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts, our beauty rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you, Kat, and good luck to both teams this afternoon.
So welcome back to York Park. It's the second leg of the big doubleheader here. State representative football. It's Tasmania taking on Sydney and Canberra at York Park. I'm Andrew Cooling, calling the action here for AFL Tasmania and looking forward to a big second game. If you're just joining us, it was the Sydney-Canberra women comfortable victors in the opening match by 50 points. We'll see if the men can pull one back for the map here, or whether it will be Sydney and Canberra's day through and through. Joining me on the call, having made his way down from New South Wales, David Redden. David, welcome to game number 2.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Looking forward to calling with the two esteemed gentlemen to my right. Can't wait for this. I would think that the first 10 or 15 minutes will be ferocious. Great, still good conditions. Should be a fabulous evening. Cannot wait to call it. A privilege to be here. Thank you.
And the third member of our team on special comments, Cam Brown. Cam, what are you expecting from this one?
Yeah, really looking forward to this game, and representative footy, it's back in the north of the state, which is terrific, and let's hope plenty of people will come out to watch this game. Tasmania, we know they played a few weeks ago, had a 40-odd point win against Queensland. They spent the magnets, though, didn't they? Made a number of changes too, Drew, I think 7 in all. So a number of players get their opportunity, some of those through form and some unavailable through injury. And the situation is a little bit different for your team, Dave, in terms of the Sydney-Canberra. They actually played each other a couple of months ago, and of course the best of those players are here representing Sydney and Canberra, but that must have been an interesting game going back 2 months ago.
It was indeed. It was played in a howling breeze, and the Canberra side came out smoking in the first half. Sydney got back to dead level at three-quarter time, and then kicking down Canberra ran away to win by 33 points. Very impressive performance. I certainly think that the Tasmanian side, having played the Queenslanders at Robina not that long ago, have got an enormous opportunity. And I'm not making excuses at all, but I'm expecting this to. It'll be interesting to see what the teamwork's like and the combinations and so forth. Again, great conditions. Finbar Delbridge about to start in the ruck for Sydney-Canberra. It's going to be an interesting game. Interestingly, guys, a lot of left-footed midfielders for Sydney-Canberra, a lot of them. And it'll be interesting to see how they go. And certainly, I'm looking at some of the bigger-bodied Tasmanian players. I've got no doubt there'll be a very, very hard football to be got in the next half an hour or so, Andrew and Cam.
Yeah, well, it's going to be hot in the midfield. Alex Smout, one who's lining up in the middle there. I was very impressed with watching some of that Sydney-Canberra game.
He was dynamite. He was absolutely superb.
And Tasmania, of course, with the match winner in midfield of their own, Kieran Lovell, the most comfortable of best on-ground performances you'll ever see against Queensland. They are going to put some time into him, I suspect. Indeed, it looks like he might be lining up alongside Smout. That could be quite the battle. Looks like Bradley Cox-Goodyear also in at the first centre bounce. So We'll see how much influence he has. A man who knows this ground very well does the Tasmanian skipper with the laser left foot. We're just about ready to get underway here as the second leg of this doubleheader. It is certainly a tremendous advantage, Tasmania, having played together and trained together. I don't think that is excuse making at all, David. We'll see how that plays out. We're ready to go here. Representative football. It's Tassie and Sydney, Canberra, and the opening bounce gets us underway. Delbridge against Alex Lee, and there is Smout with an immediate clearance. He sends them inside forward 50. Off hands out the back there. A chance for Donnelly. Swept the handball. And firing down towards Oscar Van Dam. Sharp back to Donnelly. Donnelly charges down the flank. He goes looking for Bailey Bogue, who's having his jumper ripped off there. He'll get the free kick. That'll be against Jack Nunn. So Bailey Bogue was the recipient of the Devil Award for that performance he had in Queensland, voted by his teammates. He was outstanding. He drives them in the Siggins direction here. Just floated over his head, and they'll try and clear now through Campbell. Off his left, he sends it down the line. Bogue best position. Coming in from the side, Harry Bales. In support there, Fletcher Bennett, but it spills out the back of the contest. Perhaps a chance now for Laws, who'll charge off towards goal, and he sends it deep inside the forward 50. How will it bounce? It's bouncing towards the line. Sliding back to defend the situation was James Bealey, one of the ins for the Tasmanian team today.
He showed some pace there, didn't he, Laws? And a good deep entry from him.
Norton with kick-out duties goes to his natural left side. Gets it out to Bealey, and again, who goes with a safe kick. Long ball now out to that Tasmania sign wing, right out the back. Good mark taken out there, good defensive mark actually taken out there by Kobe Grass. Smout won't be him in those Larry Orange boots. Off one step, had to be good with the delivery, was. Gets the ball up to Nunn. Driving low ball, perhaps looking for the skipper who plays it centre half forward in Swan. Misses him. Oh, great defensive act. Here's an opportunity onto his left. That was fall, and it goes out of bounds on the full. And it'll be a free kick over there to Baxter Norton. And the player on the mark's going to have to come back in line with the back of the square, I reckon, indeed. And Norton for his second touch. Little dinking ball gets it out to Gunther. Takes an easy mark in the back pocket. Next kick's interesting. There's not that much on. He's going to go, and oh, dangerous ball. Hits the ground. He wouldn't have wanted that. Donnelly, they've done that very well. No panic whatsoever. That's a delightful kick out to Bealey, who's at half-back flank. Going short. They're possessing the ball at the moment, the Tasmanians. Fletcher Bennett with the football comes inside. Norton's moved up from the back line. Want to use that left foot. On the mark is Simpson, Mulrooney medalist from 2023 in Canberra footy. Lovell. Gun midfielder, goes with his right. Delightful delivery and a very, very good mark. His own player caused him some problems in Tompkinson. Big rugged unit he is. Kicks it up inside 50, gets it up very high. Man in front does an excellent job. And that's the ruckman Delbridge, Andrew, who takes it at centre half back.
Yeah, just dropping behind the play nicely there, Finbar Delbridge. He'll send it along the outer wing, makes his teammate Veal stretch for that one. And in fact, it's gone over the line. So Zach Adams, another one into the team today. He spots up Cox Goodyear at half forward. Usually a very good user is BCG. He's kicked that one straight into the man on the mark as the commentators. Moz strikes him early, spinning away. Lovell, he'll go again. Cox Goodyear just sets it high. Tompkinson Griffiths spoiled away from him. Lurking was Leary with a snap on target. The goal sneak, Brandon Leary gets the map off and running. An instinctive finish from a man who knows his way around the goals up here at York Park.
He's always had terrific forward craft, Brandon Leary, and if you just watch our replay here, brilliant front and centre Crum, just knew where to be, and he's always been such a creative kick around his body, and a great start from Tasmania. It was a patient build-up, wasn't it, out of their back half after that behind from Canberra, Sydney.
And one of the things you've just spoken about, he got separation from Nunn. He knew exactly, as you were just saying, he got about a metre separation from Nunn, and that was all he needed.
Yeah, and that's all he needs, and he spent some time over at Hawthorn in the pre-season too. One of the players they were considering as to add to their list, and had a strong season with North Launceston.
Back to the centre, Delbridge and Lee. Bounced favours to Delbridge. He gets the ball down. Smout left on his left. Coming back inside's Ned Campbell, Phelan medalist last year for North Shore. Oh, coming in, well done there. Simpson, and they're away. Quick kick down the line. Josh Bogue. Well read, however, and Tasmania's got the football, got the crummers at ground level. Stepping inside's Lovell, who looks to me like he's pure quality. Norton with his 5th touch early on. Donnelly driving ball, intercept mark. Taken there by Nunn. Nunn coming inside, going at 45. 1-on-2, he's got to take that mark. Gee, that was a good kick. Pollock, a noted goal sneak for his club, Queanbeyan. I would reckon in these conditions, guys, he's a chance of kicking this. That windsock's just going. It looks like a very good conditions for footy, despite the fact it's twilight. And he's no angle whatsoever. It'd take his best, Reece Pollock, to kick an answering goal for the Sydney-Canberra side. Gets the skip step, called to play on, driving low ball. That's a magnificent kick from Pollock. Goal umpire just moves slightly. And New South Wales ACT 1-1-7, Tasmania 1 straight 6.
Yeah, brilliant kick and finish from Pollock. Obviously, know your team here, Dave, and he had no trouble at all with the distance. Some real power and a good response. We mentioned, obviously, Smout coming into this game, and in the corresponding matchup played early in the year between Canberra and New South Wales, had over 45 touches, so he's going to be one to watch for Tasmania today.
I reckon the word Sharon was in reverse on his hand that day.
He started pretty well here today as well, Smout. A couple of touches from centre clearances early on, so looks like Bailey Bogue standing next to him. Back to the middle we go as Alex Lee up against Delbridge. And that's fired out there by Bogue, and here is that man Smout once more. Gives the handball across there to Veal. Veal sends it up towards the half-forward line, just through the hands. Getting back in the path there was Gunther. He's immediately wrapped up, but just getting above the shoulder, so a free kick there will go the way of the Glenorchy defender, who sends this wide in the Harvey Griffiths direction. Good spoil getting across there and breaking up the plate. As Luke Wharton gets in, prevents Harvey Griffiths from marking, who started the game against Queensland red hot. Was best on ground in the first quarter there. Kicked up a couple of absolutely spectacular goals, so he's a noted fast starter. There's Harvey Griffiths, one of these Northern Bombers contingent in the Tassie outfit. There's another one, Alex Lee. He wins it down to Sulzberger. Just released the handball, but he coughed it up to Simpson. Now Bogue finds a target at half forward. Marking there is Swan. The big power forward will send them inside 50 here. It's a driving ball into the pocket, and sliding it was Burks, but he couldn't quite complete the mark.
Yeah, we mentioned Andrew Swan. He's a player, another one that Tasmania would have put a fair bit of work in coming into this game. He's in outstanding club form, including over 35 goals in 11 matches this season, Dave.
And Burks has 38 for his club UTS. So got some handy forwards out there. Delbridge worked out of it by Lee. Pollock, great one-arm tackle. That's gone, isn't it? I reckon he's taken a football move in that case, but another stoppage. Luckily for New South Wales, Sydney, Canberra. Tapped out Delbridge left-handed. In and under, getting a handball away. Does. Smout gets a quick kick away. That was legit. Off Simpson. Beautifully intercepted. Bales had to do that. Let's see how their composure is. They did enough, and Donnelly sees it out of bounds. In that left forward pocket for Sydney, Canberra, and Andrew, by this stage, Tasmania were flying against Queensland about a month ago, were they not?
Yeah, I think they had 4 goals in the board in the first 6 or 7 minutes of that. They were firing them in from everywhere.
And we spoke about that off air, is that start was critical. Delbridge ball going short, should have been rethrown really. Smout's got a corral, does. Little worm-burning kick was absolutely perfect. Gee, that was lace-out stuff. And gets the ball up there to Leary, the goal kicker. Off one step, had to be a good kick, wasn't perfect. Simpson, Smout wants to get on his left, doesn't. Sees a man inside. Over the shoulder, is that to grass? No, he didn't want to use his right side, did he, fellas? In there is Gunther, gets the ball out, and away they go. This is a huge ball, this one. That's brilliant, Stingle. Play of the game so far. That was absolutely brilliant from Stingle. Siggins going to the top of the square. The big fella's up there. Oh, that's a very brave mark from Ethan Grace, who's gone back today. Usually plays on the wing for his club, North Shore, and goes wide.
Not a space you want to be in, the hole in front of Jack Tomkinson charging at you. That was courage.
He's a big man, I'm telling you. He'd have to weigh 98 to 100, I reckon, Tomkinson.
He is an enormous unit as Sam Thorne sends them down the wing here. Best position, though, to take the intercept. Harry Bales just peels off. He did push, though, so it'll be a free kick going the way of the visitors, and they'll go by hand and look to send it inside the forward 50. Leading out the back was Burks. He eventually goes squaring it up towards Laws. He might be able to rove it. Cox Goodyear tries to draw the high contact free kick, and he sucked him right in there.
They've done that twice so far. Very clever. The old Joel Selwood tactic, Cam.
Now, VCG is a shrewd operator, much like the great Joel Selwood, as Harvey Griffiths does well. Worked it down the line looking for McGuinness. Just worked off it by Veal. From the ground, Griffiths paddles it across there, trying to combine with Sulzberger. They're fighting for the same ball, the teammates there. Eventually spilt the way of Wharton. Wharton tumbles one around the corner. Defending back there, Gunther cleverly spoils it back into space. Donnelly playing fullback. He's got a man in some space in Adams if he wants to use him. That's where he heads. And now they look to create off half-back. Hines calling for it over the top. That's where he heads. Jake Hines uses the body well. Takes the mark. Just comes to a stall on the centre wing. Eventually opts to drop one in short. Stretching to take the mark is Liam Jones. One of those 7 changes into the team. The man from the Launceston Football Club. Tries to draw the man on the mark who wasn't going to do it, so eventually he sends it in the Tomkinson direction, and he gets a spoil in there. Leary almost ground level, firing a handball back was Clifford to Sammy Siggins. He has a flying shot, but all numbers back there with the Blues. Lopalato
going wide, Smout getting himself into the back line. Want to give a handball up, and away you go. Jake Veal, you watched during the day, loves to kick across himself right-footed. I reckon he's got a football background, but he always kicks across himself. Does so again. Gets the ball out to Burks, is at half-back. Coming inside to Veal. Played some Sydney Swans, in fact, captained the Sydney Swans VFL side last year. And picked up an unfortunate injury. Phelan medalist in 2022. Inside to Tyler Collins, who played superbly in that game that Cam's mentioned a couple of times at Marnaka Oval in the freezing weather. Smout, who looks all class, doesn't he, fellas? Christian Loon centre half back, and away they go. Thorne opens up play through the middle. Simpson, quick kick, was not his best. Goes it, and he's the turnaround. Bennett going wide. Now, guys, if that ball goes out, it's kept in. I wonder what the rules are in the men's game. But ball punched out there from Mikey Carroll. In there is Christian Loon. And didn't see the umpire put his hands to his chest immediately, but it will be a ball up, Andrew, with the scores. Sydney Canberra 1-1, Canberra 1 straight.
Yeah, good tackle there from Van Dam. Just going unopposed there was Bowyer. Now the handball across to McGraw. He has some time to assess his options. Drives a high ball inside 50. It's all Tasmania back there. Plenty of free men. One of them, Theo Ives. And Theo Ives sends it across the face. He finds McGuinness at half-back. By hand to Bales. Bales just looks to chisel one out wide. Ball in dispute. Sets a task there for Van Dam. It sat for him accommodatingly. Handballs to Bogue. Continues his run. Bogue went to Siggins instead. Just corralled a little. Lost his footing, Siggins. But handballed it back cleverly. And now a driving kick inside the forward 50. Tomkinson was caught too deep. Spilt the way of Simpson. Oh, his handball went straight to Siggins. Siggins with a shot that's going to bounce all the way through. Sammy Siggins gets Tasmania's second of the afternoon, and they punish the turnover ruthlessly.
Yeah, it was a great snap, and we know what this man can do in representative footy, Drewy. And for a big man, he's just so nimble on his feet, and he's always had forward craft, and he's a dangerous matchup. The last few forward entries for both teams, defensively, the opposition have been able to get back, and that's why we've seen the game played between the arcs a little bit. But on that occasion, Tasmania were able to get it in there, catch Canberra Sydney off guard a little bit with one-on-ones, and Siggins a really neat finish.
Was indeed. Nice little bit of off break on it as well, a little bit of English inside out ball. Bowyer, the second ruckman in this side, there against Lee. Ball up favours Lee, could have been almost been thrown up. Tries not to. Lovell, little right foot kick out wide. Grass has to defend, gets it out to Veal, who's in all sorts of pressure. Excellent tackle made. That won't be holding the football. There was no prior.
Yeah, spot on, David.
Griffiths, I think, with a tackle. Yeah, it was Griffiths, wasn't it?
Leary.
Oh, it was Leary, thank you. Sorry, I could see it too. Tapped out Bowyer, gets it out towards Veal. Pilfered like a thief in the night by Jones, but it's out of bounds. You read that well. did Liam Jones. Tasmania up by 5 points, 2 straight to 1-1. 14 and a half minutes elapsed time in the first quarter here at York Park in Launceston. Ruckman getting themselves ready. Up here is Siggins, the goal kicker. In with Bowyer very cleverly. He looks like a very smart player, Siggins. Simpson handball has got a lot of the footy early on. Got to be good here, Thorne. Actually kicked out off his knee. It can't be a mark. Coming inside, beats a tackle. Campbell, that wasn't a tackle. He went the football. That's why it wasn't holding the ball. Puts his teammate Bogan all sorts of pressure. Is this going to be holding the footy? No, just a bit lucky, I think. Just a bit. And there's an enormous amount of pressure on in the Tasmanian forward 50 at the moment. Sydney Canberra's got to be very careful. Bowyer on his backside. Don't know who's got that football. And it'll be another ball up. A couple of stoppages now. And Tasmania certainly stopped the Sydney-Canberra run over the last 4 or 5 minutes. Give that one to Lee. Quick handball out, Bogue. Out again looking for Campbell. Going to go off the ground. Campbell does. Goes wide. Clears the area. Gunda's got first use to it, I would think. Bundled out of there by McGrory. And they've got a stoppage out there, Andrew, just in front of centre wing as the skies start to darken quite quickly.
Yes, it's going to be the stadium lights taking over now as we head into the evening. Tasmania by 5 points here midway through the first term. Pretty good conditions for football. Certainly didn't appear to be that way this morning. Bowyer up against Lee. Lee won that one down to Van Dam. Handed off to Bales. Bales scoops the handball back on the outside. Looking to dance through a bit of traffic here is Michael Stingle. Thought one thing, then thought the other, then turned onto his left and his kick was impacted. Cox Goodyear will arrive at the football first. Fired the handball back to Lee, sweeps it inside to Bales. Just treading water here a little bit, Tasmania. They'll try and execute a switch perhaps now through James Beerley. Wants some run off half back from Fletcher Bennett. Fletcher Bennett via hand into the middle. Oh, wasn't a great one for Van Dam. He's coughed it up, and now Campbell will look to punish them back the other way. They're going to man out the back here in Swan if they can get it to him. He heads that way, and he takes the mark in the pocket. And a chance for the big fella, Swan, to kick his first of the evening.
Well, that was one of the first goals we've seen in transition, or potentially a goal on transition on turnover, wasn't it? It was a handball in the middle of the ground, and I think it might have been Burks that got the footy.
So Andrew Swan to put the visitors back ahead, and he duly does it. A lovely kick straight over the goal umpire's head. So it's Sydney-Canberra 2-1-13, leading Tasmania 2 straight. A pretty even contest here so far, fellas.
Very even contest, actually. And at different times, both sides look very dangerous. You get to see the benefit of a halfback turnover. Tasmania's running and creating, and that leaves open players, and you cannot turn the ball over at halfback. You're much better off kicking long to a contest at half forward and let yourself reset there, guys. And Swan smart enough to run around the back, little clever kick, and then a very comfortable kick at goal from a tightish angle. 1 point the difference, and it's been a very good game so far, back and forward. Bowyer staying on the ball, giving Delbridge a break. That ball suits Bowyer, just gets a left hand down. Smout, who's got a lot of touches early. Oh, lovely step inside. Gee, that was clever. Driving ball down the middle. Offhand, Swan's going to get his hands on the footy. Can he kick 2 goals in a 30 seconds? Swan. But Mark dropped there. Oh, that's almost a throw. He scooped it through from behind. Interesting, but correct decision. 2-2-14. Sydney-Canberra, Tasmania 2 straight. Burks dropped that difficult mark.
Theo Ives, the man back there.
You've got to take your chances at this level footy. Bales onto his left. Brings it out very wide. Bowyer with a big defensive act at the back. Gets it to ground. Handball comes out, was very clever. Very creative. Cox Goodyer on his own. 1 bounce. 2. Now he draws him inside 3. Love the arrogance. Oh, great work. There's a man on at the back. I just can't see his number. That's brilliant football. I thought that was a mark. Yes, it was. And Andrew, that was superb Cam, actually. Superb transitional football.
Yeah, it was. It was quick, wasn't it?
Yep.
And Cox Goodyear, he had the presence of mind to take some yardage, run with the footy, and then well done by Hines, wasn't it? Hines obviously took the mark, and he sensed that his teammate Leary was running into space. He's so quick, Leary, and he does kick with power, so they'll have no worries with the distance here.
For his second of the evening, Brandon Leary sends it on its way. He makes the goal umpire work, and it's just offline there from Leary, so I'll let off there for Sydney Canberra. And the scores are level just about here as this one's driven outside defence. Siggins just saw it floated over his head. Van Dam got it to Siggins. Siggins handballing to Lovell, who was brought down. Siggins goes back in. Great work at ground level from Bogue. Van Dam once more sets a high ball up in the Hines direction. Good body work. Ball spills out the back. It's gathered there by Nunn. Nunn thought one way, then goes back the other. He thought his way through it nicely to get it to Grass. He blasts it clear, but Theo Ives backing back with the flight of the football. Weaving through traffic here. Some class play there from Kieran Lovell, and he finds his fellow star Sam Siggins. Those two probably the two best players in the TSL over the last couple of years. Sammy Siggins sets it up in the Tompkinson direction over his head towards Griffiths lurking at the back. He's got out of play there. He's kicked that from nearly the front row. That'll be balled in inside the forward pocket.
He found himself in a bit of space there, Griffiths. Ball got over the back. Started well, Sam Siggins, across half forward. He's looked lively. We know how versatile he is. He's now back behind the footy.
I wonder if Tompkins has a chance of grabbing this out of the contest, the big strong fella. I wonder if that's one of his tricks. No, it goes with that right hand, trying to be unselfish. The tap out was very clever. Bogue does the pirouette and they're away. Out towards Gander, who's had a very quiet start to the game. He spent some of the time on the bench, to be fair. Low driving ball, had to be brilliant. Just gave enough of a show to the defender for him to put a punch in. And it's seen out of bounds. What a game this is a terrific game of football at the moment. Very even. And you just wonder if it's going to take a little bit of skill to break this game open. But so far, really, really tight. 21 and a quarter minutes gone elapsed time. Tassie down by 1 point. And every time both sides look very dangerous, to be honest. Delbridge almost off his shoulder. Left-hand handball out, Campbell. Intercepted. Smout gets the football, gets a handball away. He handballed it to anybody, but really. Simpson holding the football. Had a chance to get rid of it, didn't. That ball's not gone back on the full technically, but because he was moving backwards, it's no free kick. Simpson with the football. Mulroney medalist in 2023. Goes on his right. And gets the ball up there to Byron Laws from the Manly club. And looks like he comes from Manly, doesn't he, with that haircut? Goodness me. Looks like he was straight off the beach at Freshie. Comes inside, off hands, that is not a mark. Aaron handball out towards Veal. Here's the turnover coming. Tasmania kicked the ball forward. Has to be resolute under the football and wise Low Pilato. Very strong in front of Tompkinson. Low Pilato wide. Terrific outlet kick and a great defensive act. They're going to pat his back from Hines, Andrew. Very good defensive act.
And good defensive act from Low Pilato too. He's had a couple of big one-on-ones with Tompkinson early, and he's holding his own there. Big battle of two powerful men there, but he's giving up a bit of size, but doing well in the air so far. Going to be an important battle there in determining the outcome of this one. Ball back into play. Siggins having a run in the ruck there. Was beaten by Delbridge as this one's worked inside the forward 50. And despairingly Bennett left it behind, pushing off his Laws. Flying shot, a goal. It's across the face for a minor score. Certainly got some threats inside that forward 50 arc this side. They're dangerous when it hits the deck down there.
Well, he just pushed Bales off with the don't argue. And he's looked lively.
Tassie to reload out of fullback here. Driving up towards Tompkinson. He'll have two to beat. Lopilato in from the side. Got a decisive fist and sees it out of play once more. So Tassie about to ring in the mass changes on the interchange here. Well, a few new players out there. Alex Lee coming back onto the ground. Tyler McGuinness, of course, only recently coming back from that awful injury he suffered in the representative game last year. It's great to see him back out there wearing the mat once more, as this one's one down to Smout. Smout sends it high inside the forward 50. It's off hands, spills in the direction of Thorne, just goes off the ground. Swan, one-on-one with Ives at the back. Swan has a hold of him, does really well to prevent him getting rid of that one. And there'll be a ball up inside the forward 50 once more.
Ives actually did that very well. He got a stoppage. He was in a bit of trouble. He did that well.
He did. Still a dangerous moment here. Lee with a little tunnel ball. Pressure came from Fall. Now an opportunity. Oh, almost in the back there. Did well to not concede the free kick to Campbell there. Was James Bealey. And those mass changes. Flying leap from Delbridge. Kicked out of there. Bennett didn't really want to take possession of the football, just slapped it on. Fall was lurking. He's wrapped up by Stingle. It'll be another stoppage inside forward 50.
Well, either team so far hasn't been able to win a territory game and spend some time in their forward half just locking it in with repeat entries. It's really played between the arcs so far.
Absolutely. Quick kick comes out from Lovell. Ball in dispute there. Great tackle, no prior. Another very strong tackle in there. Bealey again in there in another defensive act. Delbridge has to run around the umpire, gets the ball, he gets a handball out. He's in trouble now because he's taken possession. That's holding the ball. That's blatant. And Lovell doing exactly what he had to. And Collins knew he was in trouble. Lovell looking at his options. There's not. I'm just wondering if he's out the fat side. He's not. Has to go short and gets it down to Alex Lee. It just goes. Andrews just described. Just come off the bench. Has to kick to a contest, I reckon, and does. Ball got helicopters a bit. Delbridge drops that mark. He'd be a bit filthy on himself. He's got high standards. Collins, handball backwards. Veal going backwards again. Grace, his North Shore teammate, gets out with his natural left foot. Chance here. Bealey's got a chance. Here's the ball coming back. Tasmania get a real chance to load. Here's Norton going wide, and they're away. The Tasmanians driving right football. One-on-one contest. It's a matter of strength. Dunn did very well, stepping inside, put some moves on. That was clever. Gee, that's good. Gets that to Smith. That was so poised and composed. Short ball Fall coming up from full forward. Looking at his options. That's an interesting kick. I tell you what, it had to be perfect, and it wasn't. Over here's McGraw. He's under all sorts of pressure. Gets a rude service bounce. Decides to go backwards and sacrifice territory for the football. Grass, who's another left footer, one of many in this side, puts that ball up and under. She's been lucky to stay in. They need a stoppage and they get it. And that is quarter time. What a game of football, guys. That's been really, really hard, clean football, fellas.
Yeah, not much in it, and only a 26.5-minute quarter there, Drew. So just 2 points the margin, and it was tight, wasn't it? And I think both teams seem to be really well set up defensively for the turnover. So you saw a couple of times when there were inside 50s for both teams that they'd set up really well behind the footy. But from there, because of that, it seemed to me to be played a lot between the arcs. So we didn't see a lot of fast inside ball movement where either team could take advantage. The clearances and contests were probably neutralised each other a fair bit. So a really tight first quarter, and hard to get a gauge on who would be going into the quarter time huddle with any more confidence in the opposition, for instance.
Yeah, the game very much in the balance. They look like two very evenly matched teams to my eye through this first quarter. It's a good battle, as you say. They're largely played between the arcs, both defences looking well organised on top of things, and who's going to be able to go harder for longer. It might be one of those kind of evenings, really, because if we get a few more quarters of that, there doesn't appear to be too much between them. I love the look of Alex Spout in midfield for Sydney Canberra. He's very much as advertised. He was really classy in there. We saw Sam Siggins. I think we've seen kind of the key players for both sides. Cox Goodyear, you can see, talking to the troops now, just directing traffic. And we talked a little bit about the pre-game Sydney Canberra not being able to train together or play together before. I think even kind of the combinations within the Tassie team, you can see the Northern Bombers boys when they're linking up just seem to have that bit more familiarity, the club teammates, than perhaps the wider the part at times.
I think that's a great call, and the passage of play that I think you're referring to was when Cox Goodyear ran through the middle of the ground, probably took some yardage, some metres gains, and then he was able to hit Jake Hines, and he swung on the left foot almost instinctively and knew Leary was out the back into space. And unfortunately, from a Tasmanian perspective, Dave, he didn't kick the goal. But really enjoyed the contest. And you mentioned Smout. I thought he was terrific. Campbell looks a dangerous player, neat by foot for mine. Swan, I reckon if they can get it to him, does look dangerous. And Kieran Lovell won plenty of the footy as we go to the highlights. And the first goal here, what a beauty it was too, front and centre from Leary, and we know how well he does that.
You'd almost rather him in that situation than the set shot he had, Brandon. He's that type of operator, Brandon Leary. He produces the miraculous, but a pretty quick response from the visitors there.
Yeah, Reece Pollock, as Dave called, he's got great penetration in his kick. And this was a goal out of nothing, really, from Sam Siggins. And then we saw that one on the turnover, which was the player we just mentioned in Andrew Swan.
Yeah, both, I suppose, the opening goals for teams, nicely built up play, and then the second goal for each team, just the result of a bad turnover off half back, and really in between, as you said, played between the arcs. But a fascinating battle here. We've got Bo Downham down near the huddle. Be interested to see what the coaches are saying at quarter time. What do you think the message from Ryan O'Keefe would be at this stage, David?
Turnovers will be critical. Turnovers will be absolutely critical, and they cannot give the football away to Tasmania unless it's deep. If they turn the football over, they're going to get smoked. And absolutely, even if they possess the football, but the turnover count will change this. This game will be won on who holds onto the football better and who gets who matriculates the football out of their back line cleanly and effectively on repeat attempts. If you turn the football over, I think you're in trouble. I know you want to speak to Bo.
I think we've got Bo Downham standing by. He's just going to hear the rest of the huddle. It'll be interesting to see what Trent Baumler's message is. Conversely, what do you reckon Trent's message will be to the Tasmanians, Cam?
Oh, look, I think he'd be happy in terms of their effort. Particularly down back. I thought they were real organised, Tasmania. He'd want them to be brave, though, I would have thought, with a footy. I know they were patient at different stages, but probably a clearance battle is something. I thought at times Canberra City might have looked the cleaner team coming out of stoppage and the ability to get it out by hand to some of their runners. But they'll probably reset and then try and, I think, lock some footy in their forward half. Either team, I don't think, has been able to spend and win that territory battle for any extended period throughout this game. So that might be where both teams, Ryan O'Keefe will be at the moment talking to the Canberra-Sydney team with maybe the same sort of message. But at least from both teams' perspective, they're right in the contest.
Yeah, very much so. And gotta say, lovely conditions for football here. The evening a bit chilly, but certainly nothing impacting play, and the surface looking absolutely fantastic. And I think we've seen a fair bit of speed at times as a result of that. When the rare moments where it has broken open, it's quite conducive to that. As we've got Bo down on the boundary line. Bo, what have you been hearing down there at the quarter-time huddles?
Yeah, Ryan O'Keefe's pretty happy. He just really doesn't want the overlap run from Tassie. They're sucking New South Wales and Sydney in, I guess, with the overlap run, but he's not quite happy with that at the moment. But apart from that, everything else is pretty good. A right to left breeze down here to, I guess, the end that Tassie will be kicking to now, Drury.
So there we go, Bo Downham reporting perhaps a slight wind advantage in favour of Tasmania, so perhaps we'll look back and say being within 2 points at quarter time is a good result. We'll probably have a much better gauge on that come half time. It does appear to be a little advantage. It certainly did seem to be in the women's game, but it's often quite a swirling breeze here at York Park.
You couldn't tell in that quarter that the ball was being held up at either end. Pollock's hit one from 50 here. There were a couple of kicks down here. Leary absolutely smoked the ball. He missed the kick, but it went 50. So, again, Bo's at ground level when not, and we're behind in a lovely commentary box. But it's certainly not a major factor on this game. Conditions, when you consider what kind of weather they've had in the last 36 hours in northern Tasmania, the conditions are remarkable. I know you got pogoed by rain on your way up here, gentlemen. So. From lovely Hobart.
Yeah, if we were playing 24 hours earlier, this game would be in a monsoon. So, better say we've got the better conditions tonight.
Russell Crowe and his arc would have been parking just outside the stadium, I think.
So you can see the windsock there. Normally flags all around the arena, but they've been taken down today. So just that one windsock, which we're leaning on a little bit, as well as Bo Downham on the boundary. We're just about ready to get underway in the second term. It's the visitors by 2 points. After a fascinating first quarter of action, we'll see how play develops here in the second term. The umpire holds the ball aloft. It's going to be a fierce battle in the engine room once more. Hostilities set to resume. The ball touches down in the middle of York Park. Lee winning that one down, charging onto it. Lovell swept the handball to the outside, was looking for Stingle, couldn't quite gather it Handball backwards. It's a firm tackle laid there by Stingle. Made that one stick, and the umpire will toss it up on the AFL logo. Kieran Lovell always on the move at stoppages. We try and get to this one as the umpire spotted a jumper hold. It's going to go the way of the visiting team.
Josh Bogue.
Bogue goes into the corridor, risky kick. Stingle with a bit of front-on contact is going to concede the free kick there to Smout. And he's been prolific already here as Smout, and he uses that lovely left foot of his just to chisel one into the corridor. He'll send this one deep inside forward 50. A massive bodies down there. They all fly. Staying down though was Simpson. Kept his feet. Dished the handball off the snapshot from Burks. It's drifting across the face. Tracking it cleverly was McGrory. And he takes a great mark.
And did you see the wind got that? The wind definitely got that ball.
Absolutely. He did really well to judge it.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy mark. And McGrory early on in that first quarter, he was the player that you called the dash through at one point.
As he opens up the angle and fires through the opening goal of the second term. So a perfect start to the visitors, and if the wind is as impactful as that, they may well be worth double in the quarter. Great start there, and they kick away to an 8-point lead.
Yeah, he looks like he's a smart player for mine, and alluded into the first quarter there where he just had a period of play where he ran and carried the footy and looked like someone, if he's got some time and space, could do some damage.
8 points the difference. Possibly a goal kicked against the breeze. That windsock is now relatively straight out, and when you look at the players at ground level from our terrific ground level camera, you can see the breeze affecting both their clothes and those who've got a little bit of hair, unlike me. Back to the centre. Bowyer and Lee. Bowyer giving Delbridge a decent break here. Pretty good bounce. Lee comes over the top. Just fell on it over his own feet. That gave an opportunity. Quick kick out of there from the other Bogue. And that might be a free kick at the back here to Lopalato. And Lopalato's got this football deep in defence. He's going to go around the back because Grass is left-footed. And this is where he plays a lot of his footy for UTS. Working around the back of Pax. That's an average kick, however, and picked off by the big ruckman Lee. Goes square. Good kick to Cox Goodyear.
Nearly kicked this.
He's in range.
I was about to ask.
Very much so. Yeah, he does his best work from this range.
You can see he's a powerfully built man, isn't he?
Yeah, he sometimes runs around a little bit to the left, doesn't he? Give himself that extra distance, as is the way of the modern day player. But he's powerful from this range.
Cox Goodyear will open up the angle. He sets sail from 55. He gives it a ride. I don't think anyone's touched that. It's gone all the way through. Sam Siggins with a fly on the line. No one got a finger on it. BCG from 55. That's Bradley Cox Goodyear's office here at York Park. And he responds as the rain starts to fall at York Park.
And just quietly, he got nothing like all of that ball. That ball went off the side of his boot and the breeze has got it. And he's a powerful man. And Siggins was very smart there at the end. He just a little touch, because he was entitled within 5 metres to get a touch on it, did the job. But he's dead set sliced that. That's like a three-quarter wedge in golf. He didn't get that fully.
You can see the laugh on his face.
Yeah,
he
exactly.
knew that, but he's normally a very flat, like he lasers the ball. That one he really got under, but same result. We've seen that so many times down the years in local football. Cox Goodyear on this ground from that distance. That'll have to be recalled.
Yeah, he is a player that Sydney Canberra will need to watch today, particularly in that forward half. He doesn't need a lot of possessions. He's always had brilliant forward craft.
So Lee against Bowyer. Bowyer won that one down, but he won it to Bailey Bogue. Here's Kieran Lovell, just ducks under a tackle, did it cleverly, and now will peel off to his right, and he fires one inside the forward 50 to Siggins. Oh, dropped it. Dropped an absolute soda. That's unlike him. Ball back in dispute. He follows up though, Sam Siggins. Flicks the handball over the top to Leary. Darts back onto his right. Spreads it across the face. That might be front-on contact on Van Dam. It is. He'll go back and take the shots.
He's had a quiet start, Van Dam, but again, brilliant awareness from Leary, wasn't it, to kick it into space. Kieran Lovell involved. Bailey Bogue with the last two clearances for Tasmania.
Oscar Van Dam, who kicked a miraculous goal to get things off and running against Queensland in the last rep game. He'll have the set shot from 35 out. He sends it on its way. It's hanging near side, and it's another miss. So Tasmania Moving along to 3-2-20. It's a 1-point ball game.
Yeah, he leant back on that one, didn't he?
Yep. His body was going back and it went off the outside of his right foot. Playing on, and as I said, Veal loves to kick across himself. That ball is definitely holding up. So I reckon Tasmania's going to want to kick 3 or 4 goals this quarter. Not coming out of there. That's a double tackle. The umpire, despite letting it go, that ball's like Fort Leavenworth, and Pollock is the last man up. Bowyer had no intent about going for the football. I reckon that could have been a free kick. Lovell's been one of the best players on the ground. Quick kick up. Comes to ground level. Ball in dispute. Christian Loon's in there. Dives on his man now. Just trying to get a handball. Leary's underneath there. Oh, he can't call that holding the football. Okay, move on.
He can.
He has.
But tell me how that's fair to the player with the football. What's he? He's got 9 blokes on top. It's like a rugby ball. Seriously. Anyway, we move on. Lo Pilato's been very important at centre-half back tonight. He's done a good job, the big man. Goes long and direct. Oh, that's an unrealistic attempt. That's got to be given to Tasmania, hasn't it?
Swan.
Yep.
Just flew a bit early. Gunther will take...
No one on the mark, so he can go. There is no one on the mark. Now Swan can come at him. Corrals him, does a good job. This next handball's huge. Gets it out to Van Dam. Comes inside. They've done that very well under pressure, actually. Really well. This is Sulzberger. Looks like he's a lefty. Little dinking ball. They're queuing up back. New South Wales ACT. Adams plays on. Long driving ball. Gets all of 55 metres. Big pack of players. Off hands Loon. Can't get to it, neither can Clifford. And it's out of bounds in the left port pocket. It's 1 point the difference in what's been a relatively low scoring but an excellent representative fixture. The entire 36 plays in the ground, 34, other than Burks and his opponent, I think that's Donnelly, in the attacking side of the ground for Tasmania, Andrew.
As the ball will be tossed back into play. Tassie just on top in the territory battle at the moment. That's 1 down to Sulzberger. Cox Goodyear out of congestion. It's a hurried kick. Bounces back towards the goal and will trickle through 4 behind. So just tying things up here at York Park as Tasmania getting on top in quarter number 2. Nunn, a bit of a dicey kick that. Set a task for Smout. Had to be clean and was. Handball across to Veal at halfback. Has time to assess his options. Now kicks up to a 3-on-1. Favoured the Tasmanians there and they win it down. Harvey Griffiths flicks it on the outside. Fletcher Bennett turning into the tackle of Campbell. Harvey Griffiths just smashes it off the deck inside the forward 50. The chaos ball there. Hines applying some pressure. Lays a good tackle there, Jakey Hines. And forces the stoppage on 50.
Griffiths has just got a phone call from the Ollie Roos in Paris. Coming to play centre forward for us.
He caught all of that ball. There's Lee and Delbridge back in the ruck now. Competes with that one. Flicked backwards by Sulzberger. Driving kick inside the forward 50 by Lovell. Harvey Griffiths was there. Cox Goodyear tight to the line. They run out of real estate once again. Game being played in Tassie's attacking half here at the moment.
I'd agree with that. This is the first time in the game where there's been a sustained period where one team, in this case Tasmania, has been able to lock it in their forward half with 4 or 5 repeat inside 50 entries.
Tompkinson and Delbridge battling away there, spinning through. Sulzberger, superb. His flying shot on goal is just offline. It would have been a spectacular goal. He's just offline, and it's Tasmania by that 1 point.
He's powerful, isn't he? He was on the move at stoppage.
Not sure that was 15 metres, but Lo Pilato takes the mark. Puts it up for a big contest here. Good defensive act at the back. And it gets out of bounds it gets put out of bounds at half back. And it's been for the last 6 or 7 minutes, and in fact almost this entire quarter, it's been camped. You said that there hadn't been anyone camp a little while ago. Now it's happening. Tasmania getting repeat. Be just interested to see if New South Wales can break their shackles. Sorry, Sydney, Canberra. It's a bit hard not to say that in sky blue, isn't it? Ball comes out the back. In Bealey, as Clifford's in there, I reckon, and also was Norton. Good tackle made by the Phelan medalist Ned Campbell. Rain appears to have dissipated, thankfully. Delbridge goes up in this contest, going out the back. Handball out there from McGuinness. Famous football name McGuinness is, goodness me. Coming out wide. Chance for Lovell. Danger. He usually uses this football very well. Dinky kick around the corner. Commentators Moz, Andrew. We're 1-1 with the commentators Moz in this game, my friend.
Yeah, it's a real skill to do that to Kieran Lovell. He never misses.
Low driving ball was poor. Here's the turnover I was talking about at quarter time. Norton, quick kick out. Can they make the most of this? Kept in front of him and wants the boundary line and gets it. I tell you what, Lopolato has been an absolute colossus in the back line. It would be a much different score if he hadn't been out there.
He has. He plays with presence, doesn't he? Looks like a very reliable player.
On some pretty important contests. The ball's been coming in there pretty frequently as Delbridge and Siggins lock up now. Siggins palms it down. Leary couldn't quite take it cleanly. Siggins flicks it to the outside. It's a good tackle laid though by McCrory.
That was a beauty.
He was having an impact. He kicked the goal up the other end, which may well be worth its weight in gold given the way the quarter's played out since. Siggins with a fly, but was beaten in the ruck on that occasion. Here's Harvey Griffiths. Couldn't take it cleanly, but then lays a tackle.
That's
Umpire's lurking, and he's pinged him. He had to.
Football move. As soon as we all knew it, didn't we, guys? As soon as he made that football move, he was gone.
And you don't have that much time in that part of the ground in a game like this. Got to take the first option and just get it out of there. Harvey Griffiths. He tends to make his tackles stick, this man. And he'll go back with what should be a relatively straightforward shot. 20 out directly in front. Harvey Griffiths leans back, sends it through. And he gets Tasmania's fourth of the evening there, 4-4-28. And they start to get a bit of reward on the scoreboard for their dominance here in quarter number 2.
And it has been a dominance, hasn't it, Cam?
Yeah, he's been a very good player, Griffiths, now for a couple of years, hasn't he? And he's stepped up at representative football, and Trent Bormala would be delighted with that, the defensive pressure and the ability of his forward half group to really have an intent now to lock it in that forward 50, and that's a bonus.
And interestingly, Simpson and Smout have not got many possessions in the last few minutes. The game, the on-ball, the clearances have all been won by the men with the yellow wrap on their jersey, that famous jersey and worn all around Australia. And hopefully it'll be seen in the AFL in coming years, gentlemen. Wonderful stuff. Delbridge up with Lee. Give that one to Lee out towards Cox Goodger. Back to Lee, almost a scoop. Superb handball to the brilliant level. Off his right foot. Dragged out of it. Lopolato's got to be very solid here. Trouble.
But they've definitely lifted their rating, haven't they, Tasmania? They've probably won the last 3 or 4 clearances.
Siggins, isn't it? Yep. The big man. He's got a bigger run up than Shoaib Akhtar did when he bowled the Test cricket for Pakistan. He's he's on the Riley, don't go a local reference here. He's on the Riley Meredith run up here, boys. I'm telling you, Nathan Ellis and Riley Meredith would be proud with that run up. And Siggins directly in front. I have no doubt that in this weather, although that wind's abated. Oh, Jackson Bird now playing for New South Wales, of course. Siggins, long ball, looks good. Off to the side. And it's been one-way traffic. It's 13 minutes in, Andrew, and it's one-way traffic at the moment. New South Wales, Sydney, Canberra just stemming the tide.
Just got him penned back in at the moment as this is a ball towards Collins. Pressure came from behind from Adams, but he chopped the arm. And a free kick, which will relieve a little bit of the pressure.
I could be wrong, Drew, but I don't recall an inside 50.
They kicked the first goal of the quarter.
Oh, sorry.
Since then, they kicked that early goal. Since then, it's been all down this end of the field. Griffiths coming from behind, went the early fly, and out of play for a ball in, off hands. Tasmania getting on top. Kieran Lovell having a bit of influence around the ball. Had 40 disposals against Queensland, did the star midfielder. Said he absolutely loved not being tagged for once because he cops it every week in the TSL.
That's what I'm thinking might be the brains trust might do at half-time.
Yeah, you can't allow him to run free and relish the space he got in that previous rep game. And here's a chance to go forward. Oh, good smother there. Some beautiful work from Campbell.
You'll remember Kevin Dyson, who played for the Melbourne and Sydney football clubs. He's one of our assistant coaches. He's got the midfielders. And Kevin Dyson's that sort of a build that he was built for tagging. And I'm sure he'll be looking at his options now to say, right, if we shut down Lovell, we're a real show. And as you know, Dyson was a good, solid footballer. Cam, it's just solid, just a good, solid player.
And Lee going to hand on that one as Simpson flicked it over the top for Campbell. Cox Goodyear brings him down. Ball spills out the back. Crashing through Delbridge. Now they'll work it out through Collins. Just slaps it on the boot in the middle of the ground. Big contest to be won here, and doing well was Laws. Can they get something going forward here now, the visitors? That's a good kick across the face. Sulzberger with the front-on contact. Nothing doing, says the umpire. Just towed into open space for Adams. He's brought down by Thorne. Good tackle for the late in here, replacing James Lugston.
Sulzberger got the ball, and that's why it wasn't a free kick. That was a superb defensive effort because he was out of the play. Thank you. Delbridge using that big frame. He's a big unit, Finbar Delbridge. And use it. He and Lee are actually having a very good battle. Lee's almost going unassisted against Delbridge and also Bowyer. Gray's tackled. You can see the strength of the Cox Goodge is a big man up in his upper body. 2 bounces now, running backwards eventually was Stingle. Has to kick to a contest, comes out wide. He's almost gone on the opposite side of the ground. Leary, who looks like he's a real talent. Kicks that ball long. This is a big ball. Here's the turnover if they can get it. No, they're not good enough yet. Ball now picks the ball up. Wharton coming wide. Gets the ball out, asking for holding the ball. Collins ducks his head. That's an excellent defensive effort. Repeat efforts from Tasmania to hold the football up at half-forward flank. 8 points of difference. The Tasmanians in front. 16 and a quarter minutes gone. Elapsed time in the second quarter. Comes out. Leary tries to get a handle out to a teammate that wasn't watching. Christian Loon is being quiet to his North Shore teammate Campbell. That had to be a great... The umpire's paid a chop out to Pollock, I think. Yep. And Pollock's going to take this free kick just on centre wing. Goes with the chipping ball. Coming right at the football was Gander, who's had a quiet day so far, Ty Gander. VFL listed, of course, is Ty. Marker kicking it all 1-on-2 for Burks. At least he gets it to ground. And gentlemen, for one of the rare times in this quarter, the ball's deep in the Sydney-Canberra forward 50 with Tasmania leading by 8 points.
Well, I just want to lock it in here for a period of time. I mentioned Ty Gander. I saw him play last year at under-18 level.
He's a talent.
In the national championships.
When the Allies won the championships, which was wonderful for us. That's the superb result.
Be a hold on Siggins, I reckon.
Yep.
Indeed, having a run in the ruck to spell Alex Lee is Sam Siggins, versatile player, full forward, ruck as an on-baller at times with Phillips coming to Lauderdale. He's been a dominant player in the TSL as Sam Siggins. As that's a long ball. McGuinness uses those long arms to bring down a fine mark. He's just held up here while he waits for a few players to get back ahead of the football. Spreads it wide for Fletcher Bennett. Just slow play things a tad. Cox Goodyear peeling off into space, but instead he'll go back inside for Bales. Bales to Bailey Bogue. He's been busy early in this one. Bogue fires the handball back. And they're going to try and execute the switch. Not a good kick though. Really invites in the opposition here, setting a fair task for James Beerley. Had some support from Van Dam. Used it. He knew it was there. That was clever play. Puts the ball in the Bales direction. Or just toes it forward towards the line. It's out of play for a ball in as the rain begins to tumble once more.
It looks an intent from Tasmania in the back half not to cough up the footy, so they seem to be really want to, if there is an open player in space, slow it up, wait until we change the angles and then go. They don't want to cough up the footy across half back.
Sydney-Canberra's got at least one behind the ball at the moment. They're trying to shut them down. You could see that in that little passage where Tasmania just chipped the ball around the half-back line. Great smother. And that ball's gone higher than Joe Cocker. It comes down right now. Bogue gets a handball out after the 360. That could have been holding the footy. Out there from Van Dam. Van Dam again. Sorry, it was Griffiths earlier. My apologies. Got to get that right. Intercept Mark McGrory. They've got a one-on-one. Man, you've got to get in front of the forward line. I thought Gander lurking. Pollock off the ground. Couldn't get enough purchase on it. Good bump out there from Beeley. Is Pollock okay? He's not. He's a bit sore. I wonder if he's hit that concrete by any chance. Those of you that remember the Jared Ruffhead incident at Stadium Australia many years ago will remember that quite well. You know, I see things like that happening to players off the field.
Potential to be nasty as this one's tossed back into play. Cox Goodyear first to it, was clean by hand, got it to Gunther, he clears defensive 50, looking for Sulzberger in a one-on-one. Big ball to be won here, and doing nicely was Grass. Leary applying the pressure as he flicked the handball to Wharton. Wharton just paddled it sideways to McGrory, who'll receive it back. McGrory, little dink kick up towards the half-forward line. Great work there from Gander, and now they'll send it inside the forward 50 arc, turning sharply with it. Pollock, handball back inside. They've kept a hold of the football pretty well here. Now opportunity for Bogue. He won't have the journey. It doesn't matter because he's found the marking target of Laws, who took front position.
Hugo
takes
Burks.
the mark, and it's Hugo Burks. My apologies. And that's just reward for playing in front. Can he open up the angle and snap here? Oh dear. That's one you simply have to have. They've been on the back foot for much of the quarter. A real let-off there for the Tasmanians.
Absolutely. Probably could have taken other steps, almost a touch casual, just a couple of steps. Anyway, didn't have a great angle to work with, but the Sydney Canberra side needed that. 7 points of difference, despite all of Tasmania's dominance. Sydney Canberra's got plays behind the ball. Lo Pilato's just about been Sydney Canberra's best player, and that's at centre-half back. Swan going to ground. It's so tough when you go to ground at this level. Great smother off a ball from Bales. Going to string it wide, looking for Van Dam again. Oh, ball goes over his head. Just a bit slippery out there at the moment. Bogue stays on his feet. Van Dam very composed. One more and they're out here. Lovell's got it out, and now Clifford's away. Inside with the 45 ball is dangerous, and Bales rode that beautifully. Got a lovely mullet, has Mr. Bales. Top shelf, that's an 8 out of 10 job, that is. Comes inside, right to the centre of the ground, and they've got out of trouble. They can't let Cox go. Someone's got to go on the mark to him. Looking for his options. Off one step. Average kick, to be honest. The ruckman over here in Bowyer opens the play out the fat side of the ground. McGrory's got fall on. Now Fall should go run and carry and go. Goes straight away on his left foot. Oh, that's a very good mark going back with the float from the experienced Cox Goodyear. Immediately goes wide. And at the moment, guys, Tasmania's got most of the answers.
Cox Goodyear just working hard both ways for his side. The captain there, and heavily involved again as Bales looks to create some play off half-back here, but his kick wasn't a great one. Fortuitously found its way forward to Clifford. Made Griffith stretch for it. He reeled it in. Sends it the forward line. Caught between two minds there. I think between Jones and Tompkinson, and he split the difference.
Yeah, if he had his time over again, just needed to steady, and because he had time and space, didn't need to pick out two options, and unfortunately split the difference from a Tasmanian perspective. A let-off there for Sydney Canberra.
Should have seen Cam's reaction in the box. He wasn't overly impressed with that 50-50 kick, I'm telling you.
Back into play inside the forward 50. Tompkinson and Bowyer, the two 21s leading there. Some crafty play there from Liam Jones, snapping towards the line, but it's across the face for a minor score only. Tassie out by 8 points into red time here in the second term.
And it won't be a long quarter again. There's only been a couple of goals kicked, two by the Tasmania, one by Sydney Canberra. Won't be a long one. I think the last quarter went 26-30 from memory. Is that sound about right, Andrew?
Yep. Yeah, it was.
Veal, watch him kick across himself. Just does it all. It's so natural for him. Out towards Lo Pilato. Good defensive work in there from Bailey Bogue. Fancy being a Tasmanian named Bogue.
We got two Bogues out there tonight.
Indeed. And there's a Bogue pump when you drive into the middle of Lonnie. So it's great to be here. Real privilege, and first time in Tasmania for me, and I've loved every minute of it. It's been fantastic. Boundary throw in. Timmy G gets that throw in. Wanted to mention the big fella, he did. Smouts had a quietish quarter, actually. They've kept him quiet. In fact, for some part of the quarter, he's been off. Lovell selling the candy. 1-2. Absolutely superb. And that's off the instep. Lux a fortune. And he gets the ball to Stingle. Sydney Canberra got men behind the ball. You can see a sea of your sky blue back there as you right on your coverage. At the back was Loon. Scouting was McGrory, who I agree with Cam's been very good today. Lovely kick to Laws, who's come way up looking for a kick. Doesn't have much of a left, so he's going to go short on his right. Average kick, another turnover. The turnovers are killing them at the moment. We spoke about that at the break. In there is Bales, good tackle, Gander. And interestingly, you're talking about watching Gander play for the 18s. When he plays rep footy at youth level, he plays on a wing. He doesn't play forward. Actually, he's dynamite wingman. And he plays up front for his club, the famous St George club in Sydney, in the red and white colours. That's a throw. That is a throw, and seen by the central umpire. Be a free kick in here, Andrew, to Bailey Bogue after 24 and a half minutes.
So Bailey Bogue just dinks one over the top. It's wide open here as he'll drive it inside the forward 50. Was looking for Griffiths, was caught behind though, follows up at ground level. Cox Goodyear now applying some pressure on Lopolato, who has just got his head taken off there by Harvey Griffiths. A ball up inside the forward 50.
Well, as we mentioned, it won't be a long quarter, and for all Tasmanian's territorial dominance, he's only an 8-point lead.
And Stingle flicks it back inside, looking for Siggins. It bounced up though for Loon. No unconvincing kick, off it straight up to the dangerous Lovell, swoops on the football and he's put it offline. So 4 goals 7 and just a few opportunities they've left out there this quarter, the Tasmanians.
A couple of half chances. Liam Jones nearly kicked one.
And the New South Wales brain trust has put players behind the ball to shut them down. They haven't looked like scoring, but honestly, if New South Wales, Sydney Canberra can go into this score, they'll have done very well. To be honest, for all it's been, what do you reckon, fellas? Honestly, 75% of the football up there in the Tasmania. That breeze, that windsock is now dead. So the rain might have cleared out a bit of the muck. So it's perfectly still now. 9 points of difference, 25 and 3/4 minute. There you go. There's almost just a breath of wind only. As it happens, of course, it pulls up while they're watching. Thanks a lot for that. Commentators, Moz. Del, that's all right. Thank you. And Lovell, who's been... I love to watch this bloke play everywhere. Goodness me, he's a talent. Oh, that was a big punch. Here's a critical ball. Mikey Carroll's going to be really smart. The iffy handball. To Cox Goodyear. Oh, great tackle on him. Leary, smother. This is unbelievable intensity here. Carroll's got to get that out. That might be out in the fall. And is...
Credit to Luke Wharton there, smothering Brandon Leary. Great defensive effort.
And there were 2 defensive efforts. Cox Goodyear had a kick as well from memory.
There'll be an opportunity to go forward here for Fletcher Bennett. Can't be too long left in the quarter. Can Tasmania find another one? He goes looking for Sam Siggins from behind, forced to spoil. Off hands and out of play once again. So 9 points to the margin. Tasmania would dearly love another, given how on top they've been this quarter. As we said, haven't quite put it on the scoreboard. New South Wales, rather Sydney Canberra, doing a good job hanging in there. Can they do so for just a couple of minutes more? Tassie pushing late here in the first half. Cox Goodyear on the move at this stoppage. Free kick spotted over the shoulder. Advantage paid. Smout will take it and he'll put it out into open field ahead of Pollock. Does well to judge the mark as it just held up in the breeze. He's got to wait now though and allow some teammates to get forward of the ball. Eventually they'll get that. The handball back to Smout. Plays the 1-2. This is some lovely play through the middle by the visitors, but that's coughed up straight to Van Dam, who tries to charge back the other way. Harry Bale's now in the middle of the ground. He'll drive it deep. Sammy Siggins has snuck free. Couldn't quite take the mark. Lopolato did brilliantly. Siggins gets the kick away, but parked back and playing goalkeeper there. As Veal, who's able to clear defensive 50, and it's bend but don't break for the visitors right now.
Absolutely. Again, another turnover. These turnovers haven't been punished, to be honest, yet. They will be, especially as the play opens up. Nunn did that very well. Sold some candy. Campbell on his wrong side. Gets the ball at least to a contest. Simpson makes it look much better than it was. Handball inside. This is the critical possession. Calmly done. Campbell chipping ball was absolutely pristine. And honestly, the Sydney Canberra's done very well to be within 9 points at the main break, gentlemen. Honestly, that was just a dominant performance without kicking goals by the Tasmanians.
Yeah, that's the summary for mine. 2-1, was it, fellas, in that quarter?
Yes.
And Tasmania, I thought, dominated for periods. Even that last 5 minutes, it was, Sydney Canberra were trying to get it out of the defensive 50, but their skills let them down. And fortunately for them, they'll go into the break only 9 points down. And probably the message from the coaches will be, when we get the game on our terms, we've got to capitalise. And they'll probably let off the hook a little bit because they're under siege a little bit. And Tasmania, for all their efforts, probably didn't capitalise and maybe slightly disappointed, Drewy, going in with the 9-point lead. They'd be really pleased defensively, I think, to have only conceded 3 goals. As we know, Sydney Canberra got one early, but then after that, they were able to lock down. But Kieran Lovell started to look very dangerous, didn't he, that quarter, Dave? And his ability to move laterally out of stoppage, make a pivot on 1 foot, get it by hand, get it out by foot. He becomes a very, very dangerous player, I think, and someone that maybe the coaches from Sydney Canberra will have a look at coming into the halftime break.
he really got off the chain there in that quarter, and Tassie really started to dominate around the ball, whereas that wasn't the case in the first quarter. We'll jump to the highlights there from quarter number 2, and it was start. All the visitors as McGrory finished that one off the mark, probably the more spectacular part of that. Really judged it well in the win.
He did.
And really, a really valuable goal, because from then on, it was all Tasmania. As Cox Goodyear, you can see the wind advantage at play. As we said, he is kicking himself. I did not catch that ball at all right. It doesn't matter. It still travelled the journey through the middle. And then Harvey Griffiths added the other one here for the Tasmanians, but they were let off. There were 3 or 4 chances that they just probably should have taken. 9 points to margin at half-time. They'd be happy with their control of play and their work around the ball, but you just sense that they really should have done a little bit better on the scoreboard there, added a few more goals.
Yeah, I think they would have, there were certainly a couple of half chances, wasn't there, even late in the quarter, but we've got a tight game, and that's great for a contest, isn't it? And you mentioned too, Dave, I thought Smout, as good as he was in the first quarter, probably wasn't able to get his hands on the footy as much as he would have liked, and same with Campbell. They're going to have their chances, I would have thought, in the second half. And so really, who's going to be cleaner? Who's going to take advantage of the territory game? Who's going to be able to get it on their terms will be the difference, I would have thought.
And when do they stop putting men behind the ball? That's going to be fundamental, because that opens up play. The most dominant midfielder on the ground at the moment, Lovell, I would imagine that the brain trust is thinking, okay, guys, they've got the one that I would think would be the ideal one, Sam Thorne. He's rugged, very hard at the football, and it'd be interesting to see if they do anything at half-time, because he's the dominant player on the ground right now without yet breaking the game open. And that'll be really interesting to watch as we go to a break. But I think that the brains trust will be working hard. Sydney Canberra shut down. They've put men behind the football. When you're 9 points down at one stage or another, you've got to stop and go and try and win the game, and that will create opportunities both ways. I told you that turnovers were fundamental in this game. Tasmania haven't yet, to be fair, made Sydney Canberra pay for repeat turnovers.
Very much so. Might well be quarter number 3 with the wind at their backs where they need to make their move. We'll be back with that quarter for you shortly here on the live stream. Half time from York Park. It's Tasmania 4-7-31, leading Sydney Canberra 3-4-22. We'll be back shortly with the second half. Welcome back to York Park ahead of the second half of this representative game between Tasmania and Sydney Canberra. It's the home side ahead by 9 points at the break. A low-scoring first half here, just the 7 goals as the rain has started to come into proceedings. Tasmania well on top in quarter number 2, but might have left the door ajar for the visitors by not fully capitalising on their dominance. Given the wind does seem to be favouring the end Sydney Canberra are attacking, you'd have to say this may well be the quarter they need to make their move, David.
Oh, there's no question about it. They really can't afford to load players up behind the footy, and they've got to attack and run and carry and dare, get it and create open play. It's going to be very hard to do. Just looking to see if Campbell has a tag. And then, as we discussed, it's Sam Thorne. So Sam Thorne has gone to Kieran Lovell, and that's on the bottom right of screen, ladies and gentlemen, and that is a hard tag. So let's see what happens. The switch has been made. Back to you, Andrew.
A move that had to be made after he ran red hot in quarter 2. Kieran Lovell. We'll see if they can curtail his influences. We're ready to go in the second half here at York Park. A lovely bounce from the umpire. Lee wins it down, but Stingle was there to get it to Cox Goodyear. Lasers one up towards the half-forward line. Jones, the pressure comes from behind from Veal. Jones just paddles it in front of him. Jinks back onto his right. That was clever. Sets it up in the Tompkinson direction. Just eluded him. Hines, crafty, flicked it over the top to Leary. Gets it on the left. It's off target. Bounces off to the pocket. Pressure being applied by Griffiths. Worked his man off the footy. Oh, caught the fat side of the ball and sprays it across the face and out of play. And they let off there, but they might be back in danger here. Bit of a risky kick, that one. Stingle gathers it, flicks it back inside towards Bailey Bogue. Bogue retreats. Low handball to Cox Goodyear. He goes back inside for Norton. He coughs it up, though, to Laws. He's gang tackled here. Ball spilt the way of Collins. The pressure red hot here from the Tasmanians. Nunn gave the handball across. Here's the brilliant Smout. Will want to get onto his left foot. Just composed and just chips it back to his teammate. Risky kick into the corridor. Absolutely nailed. Juggling the mark, though, Tyler Collins ahead of Siggins. Handball off to Nunn. Goes right down the middle of the ground. Spoil came in there from Big Swan. Fall now crashes into Stingle. Fell the way of Bealey. Umpire spotted a hold. It'll be a free kick the way of the Tasmanians. And they'll reload in the middle of the ground.
Holding the ball, holding the man, free kick given to Michael Stingle. Goes square. Right out wide, gets it to Bennett. Now, Bennett's trying to possess the footy here. Does not want to make a turnover. Tasmania perfectly happy to play short and chisel an opening somewhere. Here comes Bales on the wraparound. Now he kicks to a contest straight down the spine. Tompkinson! First big grab from the big unit. And he will be kicking. Now, he's going to be kicking into a slight breeze with a football that's slightly greasy, just slightly. I have no doubts that he's got the distance in normal conditions. But kicking from about 45, 46 when he kicks, virtually no angle. This would be the perfect start for the Tasmanians. Tompkinson gets into his run-up now, kicks from 48. Gets underneath it a little bit, I think he has. Won't get the distance. Tapped over the back. Siggins is back there. Is that deliberate? No, the umpires are happy with the rush behind being taken. Nunn with the football. You can hear Nunny in the back in the effects microphones. Fall running towards the football. Did he go the ball? I wasn't sure. Thorne doing work on Lovell. Beautiful kick. Free kick and or Mark Burks. Second whistle play. Burks gets given the advantage. Swan stays on his feet. Over there is Gunther with him. That's great work, Gunther. He's done superbly well, given that he was on the ground.
And that's been a good matchup.
Yeah, it has, actually. Gunther's done a good job.
Had the better of it. You saw that last mark from Tompkinson before, Drew, and it was the power of Harry Bale's leg, wasn't it? That left foot kick, which caught the defence off guard.
It's lovely use from Bales. It's back into play. Lee paddles it down, but paddles it straight to the opposition. Here's a chance. The snap on goal right to the line. Great defending from totally almost a miraculous goal. Was that Delbridge right on the line? Burks is the 13. He's nearly conjured.
Which Geelong player did that remind you of from yesteryear?
Stevie Joe about that one.
A lot of it.
And that was nearly the goal of the day. Tassie survived there, and that's a lovely kick into the middle of the ground. Perfectly wide to Bales. That could have been 50 against Bogue. He takes it wide, searching ball to Jake Hines. He's got Leary bursting ahead of him. Goes inside to Siggins instead. Siggins now turns onto his right and sends it high in the Tompkinson direction. Griffiths parked out behind this. No one really flew for the football. In the end, an opportunity. Lompilato charging out after it. Harvey Griffiths takes it. He tackled off the ball. Nicely done there by Lompilato. They keep a hold of it. Griffiths, I think that ball was touched. It'll be thrown in. Half-forward line.
Yeah, both teams throughout this game have been really well set up behind the footy, and that's why we haven't probably seen the free flow scoring.
Can you explain to me why this is a free kick? I was going to say that can't be a free kick. Sorry, Cam.
I was going to say that had to be a touch.
Oh.
So it'll be thrown in at half forward. So you can see Thorne standing, Kieran Lovell. Ruckman grappling here. Lee battles his way to the front. Smout turns on that left up towards a sliding Swan. Did really well and kept it moving quickly. Got it up to Campbell. Campbell sends it up towards the forward 50 arc. Lovely ball use there to Gander. Immediately turns onto the right. Centering ball is a good one. And he finds the marking target of Hugo Burks.
Well, that was one of their best passages of play, wasn't it? Absolutely. Fast, quick ball movement. A real intent to get it inside 50 and get some one-on-ones for your forwards. And now they get an opportunity.
You saw the quality of the delivery from both Campbell and Gander there, didn't you?
Yeah, smart from Gander.
Can Burks take advantage here and bring them back within 3 points? He kicks from 35 directly in front, right over the goal umpire's hat. And they get the first goal of the third term and cut the margin to 3 points. Some super play there and finished off doing what the Tasmanians failed to do in the second quarter, which is take your chances when they present themselves.
Yeah, and a nice finish too, wasn't it, on that occasion from Burks. But it was on the back of some really smart ball movement, quick Campbell and then Gander, who just had the presence of mind to kick to the fat side, knew where his teammate was leading, and Burks didn't let him down or his team, and it's back to 3 points.
Speaking of presence of mind, Swan on the ground to get that handball away, set the whole thing in motion.
Very sneaky little handball, and as soon as they got the ball to Campbell in open play, you knew there was danger coming. Back to the centre. What a game of football we've got on here. I hope you're enjoying the coverage, much as we have bringing it to you. Simpson goes backwards, gets a punch out. Coming through hard was Bogue of the Bailey variety. Stats over the shoulder. They've been consistent with that all day. Zach Adams of the football plays on. Should have been better on the mark on Adams. Tompkinson in front. Have they paid that? Yeah, they did, because he got it at the second or third grab. And this time, the big fellas, the distance is not a problem this time. And he needs to kick an immediate reply to put that buffer back out to 9 points.
Once he's got front position like that, he's so hard to move, and he draws the footy. Great to see Zach Adams back playing footy, Drew, too. We know some of the troubles he's had with injury. Spent some time at Port Melbourne, and hasn't been playing footy back that long, has he, in the last few weeks?
So Tompkinson goes back and he drives it right through the middle. An immediate response there from the Tasmanians. The two Canberra teammates combining there. As you mentioned, Zach Adams, returned to the TSL about a month ago. I think you needed 4 games to qualify for this, and he just got the 4 in, and they've snuck him into the team.
Pardon my ignorance, I'm not being... Where in the world is Canberra? Where's that? Where is Canberra located?
Just south of Hobart.
It's just south?
So defending premiers in the TSL, although certainly not the front runners this year. That's North Launceston, but a big part of the premiership success last year was this man, Jack Tompkinson, in a forward ruck role. You can see how powerfully he's built and routinely just bullied defenders last year.
And from a Tasmanian perspective, the perfect reply after the goal from Burks.
Was the response they wanted as Lee won it down. Smout fed the handball out to Simpson, high up and under. Tracked by Bowyer coming in from the side. Superb work from Adams. Got it to Siggins. Slightly off balance kick out into space. Working hard into it as Clifford took an unkind bounce. Paddled away by Loon. He seek the safety of the line, but Clifford just worked him off the football. Oscar Van Dam now sweeps the handball over the top to Sulzberger, kept it moving to Fletcher Bennett. Bennett slaps it on the boot inside the half-forward line. An opportunity here. There was a hold on Jones. Umpire spotted it, keeps it moving quickly over the head of Cox Goodyear. A bad miss, that one. It might expose him back the other way. Flinging it forward there was Gander. He'll receive again, just handballed it to himself. Clever stuff, but he ran into some pretty heavy traffic. Cox Goodyear gives it across now to Baxter Norton, who chiseled one inside 50, bounced off the chest of Leary. Probably should have had that. Allows none to clear. Low worm burner now flicked over the top to Pollock. Another worm burner. An opportunity for Tassie now to go inside 50 via Bales. It might land for Clifford. It landed for Siggins. He fed it out to Kieran Lovell with time to steady. He's pure class, Kieran Lovell. He's not going to miss that. And Tassie are out to a 15-point lead.
Well, it's just ping-pong there for the last 30 seconds, and both teams with turnovers. And in the end, Tasmania, with Kieran Lovell finding some time and space, and a neat finish, wasn't it? Class play. Spent some time, obviously, at AFL level with Hawthorn, and has been a star of the TSL competition for a number of years since returning. He's always been able to kick a goal too, Kieran. So I reckon that's a game-high 15-point lead, boys.
No question it is. That ooze class. That actually was a rather untidy part of bit of play with 6 or 7 worm burners. And just a bit of class there from Bales and Lovell. Just a sumptuous finish. Back to the centre. It is 15. Now the game's on for Sydney Canberra. They have to go now. Otherwise, things could get ugly. Bowyer gets up. Lee waits on the ground and gets the tap out. Smout gets a handball out. Bowyer. Players asking for a throw. Not paid. Little clever tap over the top. Coming straight through like a freight train. There was Ives, who did very well to get that football out. Look at him running now. Sulzberger on the left. That doesn't help the big man Tompkinson. Lopolato gets it to ground. Now he picks it up. Lopolato gets it out wide. Sees an open man out here in front of us. Simpson has a bounce. Campbell has one bounce. Ned comes inside. Perfect delivery. Gets it to Smout. Sort of guy you want to get the ball into. Gander! Got tunnelled slightly. That's a very good mark. Gander outside the 50. Goes to his left. Good defensive work there. Pollock at ground level. Swan steps inside. Got to finish. Burks, another one. Just when they needed a goal, Hugo Burks sneaks one. And the score's back to 9 points of difference. Tasmania 6-8. New South Wales 5-5.
Yeah, good response. A nice sidestep from Swan, wasn't it? Just knew his way around a bit of traffic. And handball, just watch him here. Neat finish from Burks, his second for the quarter. Back out to 9 points. The game's opened up a little bit, boys. I think both teams have been freed up a little bit. They're trying to take the game on a little bit more. Particularly, there's an intent to move it quickly and attack through the corridor if it's open.
There's a different feel to the game, isn't there, in the first 11 and a half minutes of this quarter. There's not so many men behind the ball. Great spot, Cam. Andrew?
Yeah, 7 goals in the entire first half. We've had 4 in the first 12 minutes here in quarter number 3. That tells the story. It's certainly opening right up. Sydney Canberra really had to in this quarter. They need to put it on the scoreboard as they'll look to go forward here. But Kieran Lovell won it again, and now an opportunity for Stingle. He has a bounce. Wide open space. He'll have another bounce. He could go for home here. Instead pops it into the pocket for Sulzberger. Thought he had the mark, not paid. Griffiths flicks it over the top. Jake Hines trying to track it down. Lopolato got there first. Fired the handball back across. They keep it in play. Smout now on that trusty left foot of his. It's a beautiful kick. He finds Gander in between 3 Tassie shirts.
He's worked his way into the game, Gander.
He is backtracking there, Lee. Couldn't quite reel it in. Cox Goodyear clean, but then he was caught. Shortly holding the football. Nothing doing, says the umpire. Gander goes back, fires the handball to Smout. Clever handball around the outside to Veal. Veal works it round the corner. Ball in dispute. Adams left it behind. Goes back in. Cox Goodyear now retreating back to Bales. Bales turns it over. Gander again.
And he's come right into the game. He was very quiet in the first half. I think he's been moved onto a wing, guys.
He's getting busy. Here's Ty Gander. He's kicked, though, not a good one. Turns it straight over to Theo Ives. Ives will look to switch it up. Gathered by Gunther. They've got the extra here on this wing. Jake Hines working hard into space, had to work hard. Closing him down there was McGrory. Hines back into the corridor. Lovely ball into the middle, sweeping the handball, Stengel, but he so dives into quite a bit of trouble. He tries to bust through. He was caught cold holding the footy.
Tackle.
It was a hospital hand pass, guys, wasn't it?
Sold down the river.
Again, you can see
sorry, Cam, you go.
No, I was going to say you can see Tasmania then coming out of the back half. They don't want to turn over the footy, so if they need to hit an uncontested mark, they will do that.
The Podbury medalist from the grand final last year, Sam Thorne, gets it to Burks, who's also increased his work rate this quarter as well. Gander and Burks, they need them both. 9 points of difference. They need to kick goals. Remember, they've got the breeze. Burks goes long. At the back is Swan. Juggles the ball. That's going to cost him. Gets a kick to it eventually, but it was a rush kick and a wake up Tasmania again. They're on out here to our left. This is McGuinness, I think, and gets it out to McGrory intercept marks. Goes very square. Goodness me, that was an unbelievable mark because there were 3 blokes converging from different directions. Somehow he takes a chest mark.
Did Harvey Griffiths just try and volley that one away then? Or was that just my eyes?
Look, there were a couple of things happening at once. It was a bit, replay if possible, Mr. Director. I'm not quite sure what happened. Smout for what is a very critical goal. Remember, they've got to be in front at 3/4 time with this breeze. Smout from 50. Don't think he's got the distance. No, he never got close, actually. Off hands, Burks went the mark. Off ground. And a behind. Is that a mark? Yeah, so they're going to have a consult. The umpire thinks that this is a mark to McGuinness.
I think McGuinness would prefer a behind, but he has marked the football, I think.
Good spot, Dave.
And it is in fact, that is no score, so it stays at 44-35.
Interesting they didn't press up on the mark there, though. Allowed him an easy exit regardless.
Well, they couldn't because he would have had to have gone to the back of the square because it was a metre out from goal. Intercept mark. Lopolotto's been the dominant backman on the ground tonight. He's been terrific. Goes square at a 45. Just gets that ball up to Collins. Could have got pinged for a little slap. Coming straight down the field, none. Where are the forwards? Laws at the back. Free kick to Tasmania?
Yep. No, free kick.
Laws?
For mine, yeah, Laws. I felt it was there too.
Interference?
Yep.
Okay. I thought there were 4 guys all sort of going the footy anyway. Thanks, Cam.
You may see it on the replay, but not sure whether it was front on contact, but not too much in demonstration or protest from the Tasmanian defenders.
And did he miss? No, he lazily kicked a goal. And gentlemen, we're back to a 3-point ball game. What a game of football this is. Just when you think Tasmania is putting on a clinic, back comes Sydney Canberra. 6-8-44 Tassie. Sydney Canberra 6-5. Here's the replay.
Yeah, just a shove.
But what's it? So the guy, you're saying the Bales at the backs pushed him. Is that what you think?
Yeah, I think it was. If he had his time over again, he probably didn't need to do it.
Well, they actually...
Maybe a little soft.
There was a bit of friendly fire with the Junior South Wales players. Andrew?
And a bit of reward there too for some courage to go into the corridor here. They're taking a few more risks and being rewarded on the scoreboard as this game opens right up here. Back to a 3-point ball game. Goals starting to flow a little at York Park. That's going to have to be recalled as Jack Tompkinson has a spell in the ruck here. A bit of a 3-headed monster in the ruck here for Tassie's day with Siggins, Tompkinson and Lee. It'll be Finbar Delbridge up against him. When that one's out, Lovell laying the tackle. Ball spilled out for Collins. Collins back to Simpson, slapped it on the boot. Tompkinson uses his height at ground level. A bit of a sloppy handball though. Coughed it up to Campbell. Campbell scoops it over the top of Bogue. Turns, lost his footing but not his composure. Got the handball back to Swan. Under pressure from Gunther. Trapped it at ground level. Battling away here is Gunther. The pressure being applied by Swan. Wrenching it out of there was Laws. Got a handball away somehow. Ball just pinballing around here. It's a bar of soap at the moment. Trying to clear the area is Siggins. Swan got a good handball out to Simpson. They'll reload now with Bogue. Driving it to the hot spot. Off the fist there of Bennett and through for a rush behind.
top shelf representative football here at the beautiful York Park. Conditions not bad. I think the rain stopped for a while. Bales goes short. That's a half volley. Gander corrals him on the mark. Very well done. Gee, that was clever. Off to Bogue. And Tasmania's got some run and carry going. Here goes Sulzberger. Beautiful delivery. Wicket to Jones out on centre wing. Now the next kick's pivotal. Called to play on. Oh, gee, there's an error. Here's a chance. Leary from distance. Oh, it's a one-on-one. Oh, so close. Ball stays in, remarkably. Got to hold their feet and their composure here. Got to touch that through, and they do. Well, how exciting was that? 3 points of difference. Jake Phil plays on immediately. Goes to his outlet man. Grass has to keep that in. Gee, if that's a mark, that is a very good grab. Wharton's been very solid today. Another one working on the mullet is Luke. Right out there near the Coates Hire and Aussie sign. Has to go long to a contest. Out to centre wing. Gander came at that hard. Took away. He's been one of the better players on the ground the third quarter. Cam agrees with me. This is a dangerous kick. He's kicked into a contest with Siggins. Not a smart move. Plays on immediately. Back to the big unit. Tompkinson. Handball out. Sulzberger. Danger now. Had to be good Stingle to get that one in there. Here's another tackle. Holding the football. Would have been called. And away go Sydney Canberra. Pollock driving straight ball. Good mark. McGuinness again. Is it Donnelly? No, neither. Good, thank you. Andrew with a mark to Bennett.
Read it superbly, did Gunther. He gets it over the top to Bennett. Good ball used to Siggins, who just peeled off onto the wing. Goes back into the corridor. He was actually running off the interchange there, Siggins. So ducks it back inside Bales. Lovely use. He found the one Tasmanian encircled there by Blue Jumpers. And he's held up by Campbell. Their ball up at half forward. There's a bit of pace on this game at the moment.
There is definitely much more attacking intent from both teams in this quarter.
Through the legs of Campbell, they scrap away. Almost extracted, fell the way of Sulzberger, tumbled a kick towards the line. Clifford will want to keep it in. He tried to paddle it back for his midfield mate from Kingborough in Lovell. Ball just eluding him out of play. Tossed back in. We're into red time here in the third term. Sydney Canberra have closed back within 3 points after Tassie kicked away to a 15-point lead over the head of both the rucks. Tompkinson was worked under it illegally. Advantage paid. Looking to seize that advantage is Adams, who drives it just behind the post and through for a minor score only.
That was a poor skill error. No disrespect to Delbridge, but he couldn't do that in his own 50. And very lucky there that he didn't take advantage. Adams. Nunn goes with his outlet man to Sam Thorne. Correction, it's Wharton. Lays on, sells the candy. Beautiful delivery again. Some of the delivery in their back halves today has been superb, not so much forward. Grass. Gander gets caught under the football. Here's the turnover. Lovell, because Thorne's at the other end of the ground. Thorne's doing a reasonable job on Lovell, to be fair. Bales goes wide. Elevates, takes a good mark in Lovell. Again, he's behind the play a bit. Coming here to kick now. He'll find a way to get into play. He's too good a play, this fella. Sells to Candy. Low delivery. Oh, 50-50 ball at best. Smout dragged out of it. Well, Pilato's in there with Griffiths. Sorry, Oscar Van Dam, I do apologise. I'm having trouble with those two. Oscar's got the hair bun, guys. I'll get that right. Looks a little bit like Rob Van Dam from WWE, doesn't he? It does. He's got the same haircut. Nutmeg on Simpson. Joe comes back and tries to pick the footy up. Handball. Lovell, a brilliant quick kick with no time. Leary, danger, danger. Sulzberger dropped it. Quick kick inside. Oh, Lopolato for once makes a mistake. Is he going to rush it through? He's not. Danger, out to McGrory. Here's a big ball. Beaten for it. Adams, can he finish? Does it, does the team thing. Ball comes out at ground level. Oh, gee, would have loved another chance. Leary can't get it through. And that'll be seen through from behind. And it's 6-11, Andrew. And Cam, 6-11, 6-6.
A few opportunities in recent moments there for Tasmania, not quite taking them as it's Grass out of the back line, spots up a target, and they look to move the ball with speed once more. Handball over the top to Smout. Smout fires one up the wing. It's a good kick, and he finds the man who's been quite busy here.
Yeah, Laws.
Off to Smout he goes. A little check side kick up towards the half-forward line. Gunther took front position, couldn't take the mark. Recovered it well, flicked the handball. Continuing his run was Bales. He's had a lot of it this term, Bales. They sweep it on the outside. Bennett gave it back to Baxter Norton. Has a bounce, Baxter Norton. Assesses his options, then fires one in the Hines direction. And Jake Hines takes it tight to the pockets. But he is a capable goal kicker.
Yeah, we've seen him kick these before, haven't we, throughout his career. He's had a couple of half chances this quarter. He nearly got over the back.
Deep pockets here at this ground, fellas, but it's the correct side for a right footer.
Yeah, he knows these pockets well, Jake Hines. So we'll see if he can conjure some magic here. He's just going to set it up instead. Let Siggins fly for it. Oh, great mark, Lopolado. He has been imperious back there. Apologies, that was Carroll that time. Took the mark, handball across to Bowyer. Bowyer driving out of defence. That's a questionable kick. The hand from Norton probably aided the opposition, though.
They're out.
Now they're out in the back, and an opportunity here for Laws. Touches it on the turf rather than risk the bounce. He flicks it to Fall. He steadies himself from 40. Fall tries for goal and drives it through. And they're in front in this football game. Sydney Canberra have hit the lead late in quarter number 3.
Well, we wondered whether or not.
So can I just say, great spotting. Really great.
We wondered whether or not they were going to get the game on their terms at some point, and they certainly have in the last 10 or 15 minutes. Been a great response. One stage they were 15 points down. I reckon they kicked the last 3 goals in this game, and it was a really neat finish in the end, wasn't it? Like the work of Laws, boys, in this quarter. I reckon he plays with some presence. He's athletic. He gives him a target, a hit-up player, and a really nice comeback, hasn't it, from Sydney Canberra, and they may well go into the last quarter in front.
Should be a much longer quarter with there being a fist. Oh, Smout almost absent-mindedly handballed over his shoulder, not realising that Lovell was there. Smout tries to make up for it, goes straight down the spine. Fall. Gunther's been impressive. Simpson falls over at the critical juncture. Now gets the football. Back to Fall. Going wide. This is a big contest. Andrew, please.
Bealey doing the defensive work, but the tackle is shrugged. They'll drive it inside the forward 50. And taking a diving mark, Hugo Burks, who has had a profound influence in this third quarter.
He's kicked 2 for the quarter.
He fancies his left foot around.
Kick across the body, doesn't he, the way he's setting it up?
Although he does go and he's one of these guys that has a mark on the ground. I just don't think he'd kick this left-footed, that's all. It's a long way out for a right-footed player. He's not Sam Mitchell.
Big moment in this game. Can Burks extend the lead to 70? Goes with the right. It looks near side. It is near side. Minor score only 2 points the lead.
They're pressing Sydney Canberra
as the rain starts to fall once more. And if that makes conditions tougher to score in the last quarter, that will probably favour the Sydney Canberra side. Clear and kick up towards Hines, flying in Griffiths, but Hines was always best positioned, took the mark, moved it quickly in the middle. What a wonderful kick to Bogue, but the siren beats them as they were flowing forward there. Kieran Lovell frustrated. His side have seen their lead dissipate. They led by 15 points. The last 3 goals of the term to Sydney Canberra. They'll head into the final quarter with a 2-point lead. It is game on here at York Park. A fascinating battle, gentlemen.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the quarter, boys. For the first time, I think the first half was a bit of an arm wrestle, and both coaches set up really well behind the ball defensively, but I think the shackles came off for what it's worth in that third quarter, and we just saw what both teams can do when they get it on their terms, when they've got some time and space with a footy, run and carry, and we saw our skills on full display. But terrific response from the Sydney Canberra team to go into that three-quarter time huddle 2 points in front, Dave.
I don't think there'll be any... I don't want to understate this. I think the Tasmanians will be quite composed at three-quarter time. Is that right? We've given them their best. They've come hard. We know we're in for a game. This is not playing against those blokes north of the Tweed. They're in for this is a very good game of footy. Oh, Emin in the background, if you don't mind. But highlights coming very shortly. Thank you. If you don't mind, that'd be great. But I think that they're kicking with the breeze. I think they'll settle down. Thorne's done a good job on Lovell. Lovell hasn't been as dominant. I know he kicked a goal. Burke's a goal there. Early doors. The big man Tompkinson. Meat and drink for him. The King stalwart. Loves it.
It was all going Tassie's way at that point, wasn't it?
Look at
this goal here from Lovell put them 15 points clear, and at this moment you just felt Tassie are getting separation. They're going to run away with this.
That exact moment you
this
thought, look
moment
out.
onwards, quite the response from the visiting team.
And I'm very proud of that response, to be honest with you. Quick handball out Swan. Burke's another one. That was a good goal. Swan's had a couple of very handy handballs in that quarter. Byron Laws from a free kick. Kicked that one. And they started to come back very hard. Fall from 45 on the fly to finish a beautiful flowing move where Cam had beautifully spotted it and said they're out here. He said it twice, and they were. And they just were composed enough. There's the scoreline. It is an absolute thrill. It's great to be here. You just wonder what it's like. We're looking at the windsock at the far side of the ground. There's not much to it. It is wet. It's slippery. Is there at ground level that feel that they're kicking with a big breeze? Tasmania kick goals relatively comfortable in that quarter, to be honest. It's got the portents of a massive final quarter.
Yeah, I don't think it's as strong as it was in the first half. We might have to have our man Bo Downham down at the boundary line let us know what the conditions are doing. But I certainly think the rain coming, it's getting heavier.
Yeah,
that's going to make it lower scoring. So it probably isn't going to be the advantage it has been. Very much game on here at York Park.
Boys, two players I thought were really strong for their respective teams. I like the work of Bales by foot. He's one that can be really damaging if he's got time and space. He could be pivotal in this last quarter. And we've mentioned Gander, a bit of slow start, but I thought he was terrific in the third quarter. He hit up at the ball carrier, looks a smart player, makes some good decisions in some of his inside 50 entries, and I thought it was on the back of some of his work, to be honest, that Sydney Canberra got back into this game. So both teams would be, and coaches would be imploring, 25, 28 minutes of hard effort here. It's going to take a bit of a slog. We've seen, both teams, there was a more attacking attempt, wasn't there? And we saw a lot more play through the corridor on that in that particular quarter. But anyone's game for mine. I find it hard to make a tip. Maybe the home team in the last quarter, but we'll see.
With the 2-minute siren in the background, the breeze is pivotal, but the first 5-6 minutes just to set the tempo. You see, Thorne will clearly stay on level.
Yep.
Gunther's been terrific at centre half. In fact, both centre half backs have been superb. So Lopalato and Gunther, who can get the ball in the centre. Can Cox Goodger get his hands on the football? Bales was superb in that quarter on down the left-hand side on the back line. There's so many little things. Can Leary get his hands on the football? There's so many little stories to come. Burks and Gander were much better that quarter after being very quiet. They clearly opened up. And, it's going to be whoever wins the pressure points will win this. Without being disrespectful, I suggest that Tasmania's slight favourites, and the only reason I say that is they're at home.
Yeah.
And they're kicking with a couple of goal breeze. I reckon it's maybe a 6 to 9 point breeze.
Yeah, you can see the windsock blowing a little. The man who's got plenty of insight into that is Bo Downham. Bowie, what are you seeing and hearing down at ground level?
Yeah, lads, Trent is pretty happy. Once he's supposed to go above the line here, he was pretty happy. He didn't really care about the numbers, to be honest with you, Drew. He was just more happy with that last passage of play. We'll probably have a replay with that last passage of play where they streamed through the middle. Trent was enormous, had enormous gratitude and was very happy with it, Drewy.
Thanks for that, Bo Downham on the boundary, braving the conditions there. And I tell you what, a very brave man, rocking a pair of shorts, if you would believe, is Bowie down there on the boundary. As we're just about set here, it's about the heaviest the rain has been ever since the start of the first match here today. Really just setting the scene for a grandstand finish.
You're setting me up to make a joke about Tasmanian weather. I'm not going to take the bait. I'm staying well out of that one.
Yeah, well, when the opposition is half a Canberra side, I'm not sure that call can be made, to be honest. My one trip to Canberra certainly wouldn't be harping on about the weather, but it's going to be a factor in this last quarter, and perhaps it'll be the small forwards who need to be the difference makers. It's going to be tough for the big men to clunk them in this weather, but the umpire holds the ball aloft, and we're set to go for the final term of this representative footy match. Tassie v Sydney Canberra. 2 points the difference as we start the final quarter. A beautiful bounce to get things off. Delbridge and Lee, who reached over the top. Kieran Lovell out after this. His new tagger Thorne, though, worked him off the football beautifully. Handball to fall was a good one. He shows some composure. Has a bounce, the big man. Will he set sail for home? He drives it into the pocket. It's offline and out for a throw in. And the big man kicked a goal in that third quarter.
Yeah, it's a good finish too.
What he might do similarly there, but probably a tougher kick into the wind. But the first scoring opportunity here is going to go the way of the visitors. A forward half stoppage. Lee and Delbridge. Offhand, Swan has it. Umpire spotted a hold. It's going to go the way.
Is it going to Swan?
I'm not sure. Everyone's looking a bit confused. It looks like it's going to go to Pollock, I think. Yeah, Reece Pollock. So the umpire's plucked one for Pollock.
And he's moved him 5 metres further around it, straighter on, so it was well off the ball.
Yeah, there was confusion from the players. Everyone was looking around. No one really knew what it was, but Reece Pollock with an opportunity for a massive goal to start things off here in quarter number 4 and extend the lead to 8 points. He's 25 out directly in front. He kicks from 30. He makes the goal umpire move, and that's a bad miss from Pollock. He lets them off the hook. 3-point ball game.
Remember that point. You cannot. This is a very good side they're playing against. But Bales has been terrific. Good kick out. Cox Goodger. Laws just does enough. Got to get rid of the football. Does. Campbell over the shoulder, left hand handball. Pollock with the football. He's got a man in the centre. He spotted him. Gander. Can he get enough purchase to kick it? Oh, man in front. Oh, that's a holding the man free kick to Burks. Oh, it's against Burks. Okay. Well, that's a very interesting call. They were both in an interesting contest. Donnelly gets the free kick. We continue. Call to play on. Burks went hard at him at the mark. Ball comes to ground level. They've had their chances, Sydney Canberra already. Lee in there. Over the football. Good tackle, Campbell. They're out again. Here you go, Tasmania on the fly. He has to get rid of that foot. He does. Goes backwards to Lovell, who's sitting a little further back with Thorne tagging him. Great work, Swan. Great chase down from the skipper. Siggins, straight, route one football, straight down the middle. Ball gets grab. That's a goal. It's got to be. Oh, goodness me. Griffiths would love to have that again, guys.
He's had a few opportunities. He's looked dangerous at different stages in this game, particularly when the ball's hit the ground. Sam Siggins on the overlap, started this quarter on the wing. Stengel's been lively at times for Tasmania through the midfield.
This is bread and butter, Harvey Griffiths. You expect him. So both teams with an early chance squandered. As Sydney Canberra take it in the back pocket. David Redden points out 6 goals, 12 to Tasmania. They have been a bit wasteful. Lee slaps it from behind, works his man off the football. Flicked to Lovell, who's immediately collected in a sliding tackle there. Delbridge puts his body on the line. He's locked up. And it'll be a ball up. Attacking side of the wing for the Tasmanians. There'll be plenty of this in the final term, I think, with these conditions. Lee and Delbridge. Lee reaches over the top, went looking for Lovell. Didn't quite keep it in, just sliding over the line. And he tossed back into play. First goal could well be pivotal here in this final term. You fancy there's not going to be too many goals in this quarter. Conditions certainly worsening. It's the rain driving down here at York Park. 2 points the lead to the visitors. Lee and Delbridge to do battle. It's hurled back into play. Lee having his way with these contests early, but he chucked it straight to the opposition here, and that's the visitors who go forward. The lively Gander just worked off the football there by Bealey. Keeps it in front of him, immediately claimed by Laws, who slipped up over the shoulder in the umpire's estimation. Free kick to Bealey. And retreats back to Gunther. They're going to try and execute the switch here. And Harry Bales has been the distributor out of the back line. set a task there for Zach Adams, and he's given the free kick, and that's a
big free kick, wasn't it?
Big free kick as it was opening up there for the visitors. Tasmania now instead will run the outer wing, drives it down the line for Tompkinson, takes the mark. 90 from home, gives the handball off to Cox Goodyear, lasers one inside, 50, found its way to Hines. Jake Hines snapping across the face and missing. He hasn't had his shooting boots on tonight, and it's a 1-point ball game.
Anyone's game, to be honest. Tasmania have had more of the football this quarter. That Sydney Canberra had a couple of chances, to be fair, couldn't put them away. Coming out wide, Siggins, that should be bread and butter for a top-level ruckman. Oh, he's given that a push in the back. I thought he did everything right by the rules. Just used his body. Anyway, umpire didn't see it that way. He's 100 metres closer than us. McGrory with the... Siggins will be furious just quietly. Going long. Big Gander flew very high. Couldn't grab it. Well smothered Pollock. And Gander showing his lateral springs there. Went very, very high. Would have been a screamer. It's still 1 point the difference. Tasmania 6 at 13. Sydney Canberra 7-8-50. 5 3/4 minutes gone in the final quarter. Game really is on a knife's edge. I hate to use a cliche, but it really is. Great work, Lee. Beat Bowyer that time. Good tackle. Is that downfield against Stingle? No. Must have been decided. They must have decided that was at the point of kicking, and it's out of bounds. Half forward flank for the Tasmanians. Security's got to go and get the football for us.
That was the slap from Lee there, just a 20-metre hit out.
A beauty. Boundary umpire in here. Tompkinson onto the ball again, the big unit. Throws slightly short. Well read by Siggins, who must be players. Not nice selling of that one from Bogue. It was there just quietly, but he sold it beautifully. Runs around, kicks the ball up to the hot spot. Got to be calm here. Oh, almost at the back. Good tackle by Christian Loon. Had to be perfect on Jones. He couldn't go above the shoulder, Andrew. And the umpire's going to ball it up.
Yeah, Liam Jones, he was looking to draw the high contact. He did well not to infringe. Big stoppage here, deep in attack for the Tasmanians, but the clearance will go the way of the visitors. High up and under, up towards the paint of 50. Oh, what a mark, Zach Adams.
Terrific mark. He's got better as the game's gone on.
Yep.
He's a great aerialist for his size. And he shows that here. He'll just set it up into the 50. It wasn't a good kick. Had his name written all over that Jacknun, and he takes the intercept. Gets it moving quickly. Spreads it wide for Smout, who's used the ball nicely all day, but he's bitten off more than he could chew there. The handball to Leary. He steadies from 40 and he too misses. They continue to squander chances, and we're all square at York Park, 50 apiece.
One-way traffic in the last 4 minutes, though, gentlemen. And they've got to stem the tide. They've got to keep attacking Sydney Canberra. They cannot. Now it's square, so they can't. Tompkinson too big, too strong. Will Simpson's had a good day. Quick kick out. Man in front does very well beneath his knees, Burks. Now gets the handball out. Running past him is Sam Thorne. Needs another handball out. Gets it. Good pressure on Campbell on his non-dominant side. Burks drags his man to the ground. That should be a blatant free kick, not seen. Thorne, good tackle in there by Donnelly. Is that holding the footy? Umpire says no. That was a blatant free kick against Burks in there, guys.
In fairness to him, I thought he might have had a kick for him in the goal square early on in the quarter when it went to Donnelly.
Fair call. Simpson tries to sell the candy. Is that Lou Pilato? Bowyer's run forward, the unlikeliest goal kick you'll ever see, and worked a left foot ball around the corner. And Sydney Canberra now in front by 6 points. 8-8-56, 6-14-50. Andrew.
That was really nice. It didn't get on the replay there, but Simpson just delayed the handball there. Really intelligent play.
It was. Just some real footy smarts, wasn't it? I thought Burks did the same in the passage play before, where he could have given the handball early, but he just waited for his teammate to run in a bit of space.
Well, a goal against the run of play. They've taken their chance there. Tasmania squandering a few good looks.
The last four? They kicked the last four.
They kicked last three to last quarter, so yeah, they have. It has swung here. And
I reckon Tompkinson and Lovell were the last 2 goals for Tasmania at this end, guys.
yeah, absolutely spot on. And they've had their chances in this last quarter. Tompkinson wins it down. A battle at ground level. Tompkinson just kicked it off the ground into space. Handball to Smout. Smout got it back there to Bowyer. Cleverly worked it to Simpson, who tumbles it on the boot. Big contest at half forward. That's a wonderful mark by Gunther.
It's been good, Gunther.
Beat 2 of them. Got it moving quickly to Fletcher Bennett. Gave it to Bales. Oh, he's on his non-preferred side there. Crashing in McGuinness up against Grace. And it fell the way of Fall. They've got an outnumber here, the visitors. Will it fall their way? Handball across into space. Delbridge works it on. It's going to tumble just short. Now an opportunity for them to clear the area through Theo Ives. He shows some composure, goes looking for Sam Siggins. Siggins controls it. Will just hold up and wait for some support. It comes in the form of Lovell at half-back. Kieran Lovell, whose influence has been curtailed somewhat by Sam Thorne after a dynamic first half. That's a good kick to Tompkinson. Tompkinson thought about the short option and instead goes further afield looking for Hines. It didn't reach him though, because dropping back into the space was Grace. Takes the intercepted centre half back. He goes looking for Smout. That's a nice kick into the corridor. Might open things up here. Smout sends it in the Swan direction. Has 2 to fly against him. Bennett came over the top. Gunther looking to charge off half back. Got the handball there to Clifford. Clifford just flicks it up. He's going to have to go again. And then lays a tackle. And it'll be locked up. Attacking side of the wing for the visitors.
Goodness me, this game's on a knife edge. Just, you can't make skill errors. You've got to do everything right at the moment. It's just so tough out there. It's a great game of rep footy. It's going straight through McGrory, gets it off the ground cleverly, but sitting at the back at sweeper was for Fletcher Bennett. Puts the ball up very high. Veal gets a contest, and that's all he needed to do. Mikey Carroll, sweeping right foot kick across his body. Pollock, looking at his options, draws a man. Smout draws another man, falls on his natural side, puts it up to the hot spot. Laws is underneath this. The ball didn't fall to him. Williams sitting right at the Griffiths, sitting right at the back, and a good mark Van Dam. McGrory did all he could to hold him up. Lovell getting his kicks at half back at the moment, still having an influence. Driving 45 ball was perfect to Tompkinson, who he's hit with his last 2 kids. Lovell running off. Can they put him down? They can't. Another delivery. Lovell putting his influence on the game. This is a critical bit of passage of play now. Sulzberger goes wide. Hines, and the delivery had to be 2 yards better. And Hines shrugs his head back in despair.
He had Leary in open space too. In his play, you'd think Tasmania will get on the end of some of these stop plays. We know how dangerous he can be. Hines is another one.
It was the 3-on-2 inside forward 50. Couldn't take advantage. Siggins pushes his man underneath the football, and that might be 50. The umpire going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say the whistle ain't gone yet.
We've seen a 50 today?
We have not either game.
No.
There was a downfield free kick given for an offence on Zara Hamilton, but we have not seen 150 in a day of footy, which shows great discipline.
Yeah, extraordinary. There was a fair case for one there, I think, against Siggins. Umpire gives him the benefit of the doubt. A fairly blatant push as he works Bowyer under the ball, who's got what is the go-ahead goal at the moment. McGuinness was blocked off there by Fall. That's going to be an easy one for the umpire. And Tyler McGuinness is usually good by foot. Can he spot something up here inside the forward 50? Plenty of bodies back in defence for Sydney Canberra. He'll drive it inside the forward 50. Flying was Hines. Siggins from behind. The clear and kick, half smothered, sliding in there. Lopalato takes a good mark. He's been an absolute pillar back there today, Lopalato. His kick to a contest on the wing. Fall somehow gets that. Just slapping at the football was Lee. Umpire spotted a free kick again to McGuinness. So he'll go again here, Tyler McGuinness. A few options short. He doesn't want to take them though. And that means they're probably going to be outnumbered. So he kind of had to go short in the end. Not a bad one to give it to in Kieran Lovell.
They have to think their way through it because Sydney Canberra got 2 back behind the footy at the moment.
Oh, he puts Ives under some pressure here and he panicked a little with the handball. Lovell forced a retreat. He's composed. And he finds a kick into the corridor. Majestic stuff. And now Harry Bales on the left sets it up into the forward pocket. Can he find Siggins? He can, but it was taken away from him by Carroll.
Put that in the highlight. That was absolutely exquisite. That's the best bit of skill we've seen today.
Yeah, that shows all his class, doesn't it? He was under pressure. He's got that step, that agility, and then he just pierced the bullet like pass.
And makes kicks few others can. Kieran Lovell, another forward stoppage for Tasmania. They're hammering at the door. Can Sam Siggins burst through? He can't. He's missed another one. A sharp chance, but another behind. They're 6-15, the Tasmanians.
Smout's on. They've got to get this ball to Smout. He's on centre wing on his own. I haven't seen him come wide out towards the best Sydney Canberra player on the ground for mine, Lopolato, along with Smout. Lopolato's been superb. Simpson's been in the top 6 as well. Standing mark at Sulzberger. Now they've trapped them. Simpson might have to go long. That's off the outside of his boot. You wouldn't believe your luck. Ethan Grace gets a charity kick off the side of the boot. You wouldn't believe it. Long. Grace is a superb kick of the football, just quietly. Swan stays down. Delbridge rugged as always. You've got to stay on your feet. Great work from Bogue. At the back, Simpson dumps it forward. Should be an easy mark. Oh, he's dropped one. Look at the pressure. Swan ducks his head. Bennett's done very well to recover from there. Stengel chased by Laws and he's in trouble.
He's going to pay it.
Good. Oh, the ball's got out. Unbelievable. It could have been a high free kick as well. What defensive pressure. And remember that Tasmania's under one kick the difference.
They just haven't been able to find some continuity of their footy in this last quarter, Tasmania. It's been all Sydney-Canberra for mine.
Unable to keep their feet there. They're slipping and sliding all over the place. The ball like a bar of soap. Proper wet weather footy this at the moment, although conditions getting better. That's going to be insufficient intent, but they'd be out on the full anyway. Just smashed out of there by Stengel. And Ethan Grace can take over on centre wing. His side leading by 5. He opens up and drives it inside the forward 50. Big contest here. Taken away. It landed into the path of Bogue, and it's a square kick. Is that a mark? Not paid. Sliding in. I thought he had that there, Laws.
Just look at the body language. The body language shows that he's not complaining. It was a half volley. You would imagine he would have arced up.
Absolutely. As this clearing kick from Lovell is going to come right back at them because there were blue jumpers aplenty behind the football. And it's Jack Nunn who has time to assess his options and kick it to the hot spot and find a marking target. Oh, he spilt it at the last second. Pollock with a flying shot, a goal! Reece Pollock kicks a goal and puts the visitors 11 points ahead.
Well, in a relatively low-scoring game, he's had his moments. That's his second for mine, I think, Dave, is it?
Correct.
Picked the first one for Sydney-Canberra, and we mentioned a few minutes ago, it just felt like it was getting on their terms, Sydney-Canberra, and now they've got value for money in terms of their forward pressure and time in forward half. They get an 11-point lead, and it's been a long time, in fairness, since we saw a Tasmanian goal, so they need to get a response here. Full credit to Sydney-Canberra. The last quarter and a half, they've really stepped up.
Do they put players behind the ball now? They've got an 11-point lead, do we think?
17 3/4 minutes in. You think it ought to be a 27, 28-minute quarter? Possibly. Don't know. That's an awful. Sorry, not awful. That's an average bounce will be thrown. Maybe not yet. Tasmania can. That can be lethal. Quick kick off the ground. Beautiful pick up there from Josh Bogue. Oh, McGrory running through pasture. On his left, he's on his wrong side. Gets the grubber, that's touched. And it's now back, gentlemen, to a 2-goal difference. So Tasmania's got to kick 3 goals to win from here. And the pressure is on. What a game of football we've been privileged to bring you. McGuinness, I'm very impressed with him. He's a very good, tidy player. Thorne's been outstanding on Lovell. Gets a kick away. Has a towel. Oh, it's a chance. Burks at the back. Laws picks it up now. Laws! I think he's kicked it! Look out! He has! Remarkable. What a turnaround this is. Byron Laws with a bit of quality kicks. He's second.
Yeah,
10-9-69. Cam, over to you. 6-5, 6-15.
I reckon he's been terrific. particularly in the second half. He's given him a presence. He looks dangerous in the air, seems to react really quickly at ground level as well, and that was a smart kick across the body. And gee, it's going to be tough from Tasmania for here.
Well, they haven't kicked a goal since probably the 10-12 minute mark.
Probably the middle of the third. Lovell's exquisite snap over here in the right forward after Tom. So it's Tompkinson, then Lovell. That's the last goal. And I reckon that was 6-7, 6-8. I reckon there's been 6 or 7 behinds in a row kicked, guys.
They had a period in the ascendancy early in this quarter, couldn't find a goal. Sydney, Canberra have had the last 5 or 6 minutes and they have made it count. It's Tassie with it all to do. They've got a lift out of the middle here as Bailey Bogue sends them forward. But again, they're not going to find a target. They'll clear this one out there. They're just running out the game strongly at the moment. Zach Adams first to the football. It's not a good kick. It's floated out across the boundary and over the fence out on the full there.
Into the Esk River that went.
Yeah, not his best there. Zach Adams.
They've got some difficult matchups, haven't they, down there? Laws, Burks have given them some trouble at different stages.
I feel like they've handled the wet conditions better than Tasmania.
They're relatively mobile and no big halting guys. Swan's the biggest.
There's an advantage paid here. They've got to take advantage here. Bailey Bogue drives them towards Hines, who plucks it.
He's due, guys. He's had a couple.
Simply must kick this. Jake Hines has kicked many a goal on this ground down the years. His team in dire need. As we have a look at that pluck from Jake Hines. He's had a couple of opportunities. He hasn't been able to convert. He kicks a clutch goal in the final quarter against Queensland last year in that thriller of a rep game. Can he pull them back within 2 goals here? He'll kick from 35 on the angle. And he's driven it through. And Tasmania get the goal they need. There's still time enough if they're good enough. It's a 12-point ball game at York Park.
Well, you sense if they can get the forward supply, there's enough creative players down there, and Hines and Leary, these sorts of players at ground level are very dangerous. We see Siggins going down to the goal square now, so too with Tompkinson. So they just need a clearance, don't they, from a Tasmanian perspective. Sydney, Canberra, they'll just want to get their hands on the footy. Soak up a bit of time if they can with some uncontested marks, but it needs to be a clearance here from Tasmania. Van Dam's gone into the middle, Stingle in there also.
What a superb game of football this has been. Hines stepping up when he needed to, back to the centre. Lee and Delbridge have had a fantastic battle all day. Lee's won it for mine. That's an average bounce, and it'll go straight back over the umpire's head and it'll be thrown. 22 minutes elapsed time, 12 points the difference. Throw favours Lee slightly, he gets it backhanded to it. Ball dropped by Bogue, good tackle Lovell. You could see there him being very careful not to get his man onto the ground. Held him up, that's the modern way of tackling. Modern, it's come up in the last 6 weeks. Delbridge taps it out. Bogue tackling, in there's Grace. Van Dam couldn't get rid of the footy. Another stoppage. Delbridge left hand out. Quick kick. Grace was clever, but kicks it to open men. Out the back here, Lovell turns around. And it's Bealey going wide. Ball beats Bogue. Grace has got to be solid. Anyone's ball this was. Collins has got to be good again. They're on the ground. Whack through the legs of Bogue. Good tackle, Collins. Bogue again. He stepped up. They've got to go hard, Tasmania. Well, they've been hard all game. Siggins not coming out of there. Good tackle, Veal, and also Lopalato. That's 12 points the difference.
That's where you've got to be on the move at the stoppage. Tasmania calls Goodyear, Leary.
Just like Rochelle and Fogarty were last night, Cam. Siggins kicks it out of there. Big contest. Tompkinson in front. And in fact, they get a stoppage, which is actually better than a behind, Andrew, because they get a chance to recalibrate.
Yeah, I think Tompkinson well aware of that. He was quite happy to just spoil it towards the boundary. So it'll be tossed back into play. They can reset here. 23.5 gone in the final term. Little margin for error at this point. They trail by 12. Tossed back in. Delbridge wins it down to the outstanding Smolt, who's quite happy just to retreat and give up the behind and allow them to reset out of the defence. It could be a handy point yet, who knows. He'll receive this one. It just reached him. But why not give it to Alex Smout? He's been a star all afternoon, or evening rather, as he chips that one in. And they'll just look to possess the football and run a bit of clock here. Tasmania need to man up. They'll now have to kick to a contest. Tompkinson attacking the fly from fall from behind. And it spills out the back for a throw in. Tostian attacking side of the wing here. 11 points the difference. 24 plus change of tick by. Haven't been the longest quarters in this match so far. Lee and Delbridge. Lee working his way to the front. Just had to go with the foot to try and ruck it in the end. Cox Goodyear in there. Delbridge holding the footy. Surely Cox Goodyear catches him. And he'll look to move it quickly here. He's a good man to have the football. Bradley Cox Goodyear, the Tassie skipper. What can he conjure up? He drives it long to a contest. Can they find a mark? Siggins takes the mark and he knows time is of the essence. He is wasting no time to get back on that long run up of his. And if he kicks this, it'll be a 5-point ball game.
It's one of those things that he knew his capabilities of his teammate. It was a deep entry, wasn't it, from Cox Goodyear?
Sam Siggins, he was the hero against Queensland last year. Can he kick another vital goal here and bring them back within 5 points? It looks good off the boot. Sammy Siggins rises to the occasion and it's a 5-point ball game. The grandstand finish we wanted. We've got it, boys.
Wonderful. Just when they had to, they've stepped up. Just when they had to. Hines and Siggins, two vastly experienced footballers, have kicked critical goals. You said it a minute ago, very astute of you, that behind could be critical. At the moment, it's absolutely pivotal.
Wow.
We have no idea how much time is actually left. We are in for what they call, it's a cliche, but it's right, a grandstand finish here at York Park. Andrew, Cam and David here with you. Hope you're enjoying as much as we're enjoying bringing to you. Back to the centre. Lee gets it tapped out. Well worked out of there by Thorne, who's been enormous since going on to Lovell. And Campbell should take his time here. He's gone to half forward. Smouts off to his left as an outlet if he sees him. They should be loitering around him. There's the man on the outside, Thorne. They've wasted another 15 seconds. Lapolato's going to come forward. There's no easy kick. Thorne's going to go long to a contest. Kicks it as far as he can. Burks comes hard. Burks almost gets his hand on it. Clever handball out the back. Kick out there from Adams. Big mark needed at Delbridge. Takes that mark. They're probably going to go long to a contest. They will. Delbridge goes long, gets it to the pocket defensively. Burke's up again. That's almost, no, she didn't get it in a third grab. Ball held in, stoppage. Tackle ball squeezes out. Laws kicks it out. Doesn't kick it far enough. This is the opportunity Tasmania needed. Going straight down the spine. Had to be a good kick, wasn't? Grace has got to pick that up. Can't. Cox Goodyear in there. How exciting is this? Over the shoulder. You know what, guys? They've been consistent with that all day, Andrew.
He's sucking him right in.
That could be the ball game there.
And that's a 30-second wait so he can take a kick.
Yeah, unfortunately for Donnelly there, he tried to take the corridor, just a little bit too much carry on the kick. And when you consider, I don't think we've had a quarter beyond 28 minutes.
Oh, clever. They can run another 30 seconds now. That is really smart. Although
Thorne doesn't have the distance from 50. Yeah.
It is a more difficult kick, but perhaps they're aware of how little time is left. We are ignorant to that fact. You suspect the players have had the runners out there telling them exactly how long is left. So they can bite off 30 more seconds here.
And if the ball gets up to the line, especially behind Sydney, Canberra need to punch it through. They need to be aware to get the ball through and get it in for a behind. It's Ethan Grace from a long way out.
He gives it a ride. Right to the line and off hands, and there is that crucial point. It was nearly 6. An even goal, the difference. Tassie have got to go. An ugly spiralling mongrel from Gunther down the middle. Trying to crash through there was Stingle. He's held up, and there'll be a stoppage at half-back.
Dan Tompkins is stopping the loose man behind play. She's going to Mikey Carroll now.
Lee wins it down, but it was through the legs of Hines. And an opportunity here. There's the siren! The visitors come down to York Park and score a famous win. A gutsy performance in the rain from Sydney, Canberra. They did it against the wind in the final quarter. They turned it around from a 15-point deficit midway through the third quarter and win a wonderful game of representative football.
That's the best game of rep footy I've ever seen. That was absolutely outstanding. Committed, great football, enormous contest. I told you off air that I thought Tasmania was slight favourites. I'm quite happy to say that on air now. Home ground, experience, training together. That is just a wonderful game of football. And when you consider in the third quarter that Sydney-Canberra had to kick 4 goals and were 15 points down, it's a monumental performance. It really is a big performance. Both sides, good, clean, hard, top quality. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. That was just a superb exhibition of football, Cam.
Well, it was, and that's why we need to see more of it, boys, wasn't it? And a terrific effort. Full credit to Sydney and Canberra. We know they only came together as an amalgamation a short time ago. Tassie had the benefit of obviously being together as a group, albeit they had a number of changes coming into this team today in that previous win over Queensland. But yeah, I think the story of this game for mine, I mean, Tassie would probably be a little bit disappointed, 24 scoring shots to 20. They had some real opportunities, didn't they, at different stages of the game. We thought, we even wondered during the second quarter, boys, have they capitalised enough on their territory and the time in their forward half, and then probably in hindsight and some opportunities, 50-50 goals that they missed, maybe that was a difference. And I just thought Sydney-Canberra sort of halfway through that third quarter, they were able to get the game on their terms and in the end capitalise.
You've got Bo down at ground level with an interview with the winning side there. Who have you got for us down there,
Burks,
Bowie?
I think.
Yeah, guys, we've got Hugo Burks down here. Pretty big game player, mate. You guys only came together, I guess, yesterday. How's your day been? It's been a pretty big day.
Yeah, it has been. No, it was a very good win from the boys, and we travelled down last night, and got together, got to know a few names, and got the win. So yeah, pretty happy.
Always difficult, I guess, when you have a team. How many of these guys have you actually played with, I guess?
Yeah, well, it's probably a bit different for me because I've come up from Melbourne last year, so I don't know many. But there's a guy that plays at UTAS, Kobe Grass, and then a few boys that I know just from a bit of BFL stuff and whatnot. But yeah.
Really scrappy game of football. I guess the weather conditions weren't great. How did you guys capitalise at three-quarter time when all the momentum, I guess, was with you guys? How did you stick with that?
Yeah, we'll saying at half-time, like, we don't reckon we've given our all yet, and we reckon sort of Tassie had really given it a good crack. But yeah, just staying patient and just really sticking together, communicating, and ended up getting the job done, which is great. Yeah.
Thoughts on more rep footy?
I've really enjoyed it. Yeah, I've never been to Tassie before, so it's been good trip. It's been good. Really highly recommend.
Thanks, Hugo. Thanks for your time. Back up to you, boys.
Hugo Burks there, and what a match winner he proved to be. He had some pivotal moments, didn't he? And look, the adjective that comes to mind to describe that win for me is gutsy. That was a gutsy performance. They dug deep for a team that hadn't trained together. That is a massive advantage Tasmania had to pull off a performance like that. They looked like a side that trained together. They were so well organised, and they just dug deep. It was anyone's game in the final 10 minutes, and they rose to the occasion magnificently, I thought.
Yeah, well, they 15 points down, weren't they, through the third quarter, and I reckon if Tasmania kick another goal, that's almost too much. But, yeah, I just thought they worked really hard, and they had some terrific performances up forward. And, we just spoke to Hugo Burks, and he's a dangerous matchup, isn't he? And I thought Byron Laws was also, his kick across the body, Dave, was fantastic. I think we've got another interview down there.
Ryan O'Keefe, I think this is.
Yeah, we've got Ryan O'Keefe now, the victorious coach with Bo Downham. Far away, Bowie.
Just getting around the boys at the moment, lads, so we'll just wait for him to come over here. Ryan, I guess, a pretty good win. A team that, I guess, just got assembled by, not choice, but I guess really talented players. How'd you see it?
Yeah, look, that was our biggest challenge, trying to get a group together really quickly. We had our first session last night, as it's face-to-face together. But, yeah, look, I think just shows that the talent we got up in the area, up in Sydney and Canberra. So, but look, it was a terrific game. We knew Tassie were going to be ferocious. They're a super team, a lot of good players. But I think it just shows the quality of that next level down football, but it's really, really high. So, look, it's something that, we're super proud of the guys. Got in the end, but it was just about character and digging in.
I guess as a coach, how proud of you? This team, I guess, not a lot of big names have played AFL football, a few from Tassie. How proud are you of this team that have just been strung together, I guess?
Oh, super proud of the boys. And it's good, when you get players that buy in and invested in it, it's really good. So, super.
Thanks, Ron.
It wasn't their day today, but I'd like to welcome Tasmania coach Trent Bormiller to say a few words and announce the Lefroy medalist as the map's best of field. Thanks, Trent.
Firstly, to Ryan and the Sydney-Canberra guys, well done. Too good for us today. It was a great contest. Yeah, pretty much the way that we like to play our footy, and you guys obviously played a great style as well. So well done to you guys. Hats off. To both state associations, AFL TAS and AFL New South Wales ACT, for putting on the game and giving us the opportunity. Thank you for all your organisation and all the work done behind the scenes of the staff of both organisations. To our boys, obviously pretty tough to swallow. Obviously we're very passionate about representing our state and winning games of footy, and we weren't able to do that today, but we'll stick together. Lefroy medalist for this game for us is Harry Bales.
Congrats, Harry, and thanks to Trent and the Tassie guys for a wonderful game tonight. It's now my pleasure to ask Sydney-Canberra coach Ryan O'Keefe to say a few words and announce their best of field for the game. Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks everyone. Thanks Tassie, it was a fantastic game. We knew we were in for a big challenge. We saw what you did to Queensland, and we know how super proud you are, and you play a really good brand of footy, and it was, I thought, a really high level game. To AFL TAS, AFL New South Wales, ACT, just all the work that has been put in to get this rep footy up and going, super exciting, and we hope this has a really prosperous future and we can do more of this going forward. To the coaching staff and support staff around there, thank you so much for all the time and effort that you've put into this. You've made success, not just the result, but the actual whole process. And to the boys, well done, a real gutsy win, fought it out to come away. Put together, had our first training session together yesterday. Put a got me. And our best on for today is another back, Lopper, the cheater.
Thanks very much, Ryan, and I'll get you to stay there. And I'd also like to invite your captain, Andrew Swan, to come forward to accept this year's trophy, which will be presented by Tasmania Devils board member Kathy Schaefer. The winners for 2024, Sydney-Canberra, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
So there we have it. Sydney-Canberra triumphant in a great representative game of football. They gutsed it out and won by 6 points. A happy bunch of players there. I certainly thoroughly enjoyed that. We hope you have enjoyed the broadcast. Just before we wave farewell, a final thought from you both. First, you, Dave Redden, a big smile on your face, much like the players.
I'm not usually short of a word, but I'm just trying to be composed. I'm extremely proud of that. When you understand, and I've had Tasmanians at my football clubs I've been around, understand when I speak to Tasmanians how proud they are of their football, how much it means to them, how much playing in green represents to them across the board. And I've never met one that's not like that. To come here in these conditions, not having trained, I'm extremely proud. And there's an enormous sense of satisfaction From my perspective as someone that's involved in AFL Sydney and calls the footy, it's been a privilege to be here. That is a great performance. It really is, especially from where they were, guys. And I thought Tasmania were outstanding as well. It was just as I said, it's the best. I've seen a lot of rep footy. That's the best game of representative football I've ever seen. This is an amazing place. I hope I can be fortunate enough to come back down here one day again, work with fellas like you. I've had an absolute ball. I'm really privileged. I thank you so much for having me. You're completely professional to work with, and I can see how the broadcasting in Tasmania is only helped by having people
I
like
think
you
the exciting
on
thing,
air.
yeah, I think the exciting thing for this is the three of us will walk away, and every single person that came along and watched the footy, everyone that was involved, from a player, coaches, administrators, would walk away and think we've got to play more representative footy, and that's a great advertisement for what we've seen today. And we know that Tasmania are going to be playing more games this next year. Obviously it makes sense for me if they play Sydney to Canberra away next year, for instance, and it just gives an opportunity, doesn't it, for players at the elite level in their competitions to showcase their skills, and this is what we got, a fantastic game of footy.
I agree wholeheartedly. A wonderful concept, and delighted that it appears to be very much on the agenda in an even more expanded way next year. Stay tuned for that, but that will just about wrap us up here from a wet York Park on a day where Sydney and Canberra did the double, a 50-point win in the women's and a 6-point victory in the men's. I've been Andrew Cooling. Joining me on the call has been David Redden and Cam Brown. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. Until next time, it's bye for now.